the bench. We're going to attack with this beat attack. We will make it right. No point to the bench. We're going to attack.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into round 11 of the 2021 RaceFactory Gaming National Championship in MX Simulator. It's the Fox Raceway 2 National tonight live here on Start Your Systems. We are getting ready to go racing here on Fox Raceway once again. Second time this year. We already did it once earlier on in the year, if you guys remember. We went racing back in late May, I think it was at this point, so it's been a while, but this track hasn't changed too much from what we saw it in the iteration back then. Actually, it's still going the same direction. It's not going to be the reverse direction like we saw it in real life this past weekend. They built the track off the spec of the first round, so this is basically a replica of the first round in real life, hence why the track goes the same direction. We're going to give you guys a hot lap real quick to preview the track here tonight, courtesy of atom.com. Adam Holm going to show you the way around the track. Left, right, a little complex through the first corner, and then a drop down into a table, and you carry momentum through this little right-hand corner, and a big step up in the middle of the track brings you back down kind of over by the finish line jump, but you're still working your way all the way out to the hillside of the track as you kind of take this 90-degree left turn. You do a little single and then a double, and carry speed into this corner. Another 90-degree right, but you can see Holm launching into the rollers right there as he gets the power on the ground and flows through this roller section up to the top of the hill. Not quite the top, actually, just a little bit off the top. Hangs a left 90 again. It's just left and 90s and right 90s all the way to this far back section of the track, and then hang a kind of right 180 to go all the way up to the top of the hill the first time. So you peek over this little rise here and try to get hard on the brakes to get down, make this inside rut. Holm slides out a little bit there, but still gets a nice little scrub off the hill, coming down into the main part of the track again. And then it's just up and down these hills at the far end of the track a couple of times. He's going to swoop around at the bottom, carry momentum over this little table, and then the step up to the top here. Lands and tries to get to this inside rut through the braking bumps. 180-degree corner drops you back down into the center of the racetrack once again. We're not done just yet. A left 90 is going to flow you out to the back portion of the track, and the jump that is becoming known as the palm tree jump. There's a palm tree that sits on the inside corner of this jump in real life, so a little step up into the back here. 180-degree corner off the back, and be careful not to slide out off the top. They're easy to crash coming down through those rollers, and then this big floater tabletop. Again, kind of back into the center of the racetrack here one final time. Some right-handed rollers into a left-hand 180-degree corner. Gonna scrub that table nicely and carry speed through the rollers here. You're going to double, kind of single this roller up the inside, and then a tricky wall jump right here. A lot of guys have been caught out by this jump in qualifying, so keep an eye on that throughout the racing. Home nicely to the finish line jump, scrubs over the finish line jump, and kind of double single into this little wall down the backside of it. Right-hand 180-degree corner, little table, and then kind of a left-hand 130, not quite a full 180, up onto this little plateau and down. Then a little kind of left, maybe 100, 110-degree corner, and then switchbacks back and forth. You're going to go right 180 down past where the mechanics area was, left 180 back behind the mechanics area, and then right 180 one more time before you come back and join with the start straight. And that is a lap here tonight at Fox Raceway 2 in MX Simulator. Well, we're back. Glad to see you guys again with us. Kellen Brower in studio bringing you guys the action here tonight at Fox Raceway 2, and we're very excited to be bringing you guys the action all night long for the rest of the evening here. We're going to do pretty much, excuse me, like 3 hours of straight streaming if you've never been with us here before. 250 and 450 motos back to back, and they're 30+2 just like in real life. Excuse me. So we're getting excited and ready for that. Unfortunately, I do have to kick things off tonight with a little bit of sad news that I'm afraid to share with you guys. So let's go ahead and talk about that situation right here, which is unfortunate. On August 28th, longtime MX Simulator racer and community member Jonathan Alexander passed away at the age of 20. The Georgia native had raced professionally in MX Simulator since 2019 and earned career best moto and overall finishes last month, with an 8th in 450 Moto2 at Unadilla and an 11th overall at Spring Creek. In memory of Jonathan, racers will be running the hashtag 4JA in their names tonight. We ask that you please join us in a moment of silence as we remember Jonathan Alexander. All right, thank you guys so much for that. Very sad news there, and unfortunately, we've lost a good one there. A lot of people have been reaching out to me today and telling me stories about Jonathan and the experiences that they shared with him, and I personally did never get a chance to really speak with him, but sounds like he was a tremendous guy, and it's really sad that we've lost him, and you know, thoughts go out to his family and all of his friends. A lot of his friends are here tonight that they're going to be supporting and watching in chat all night. And if any of you guys also donate throughout the night, we'll also be sending any donations to his family to help them out as well in this time of need. But yes, very unfortunate news to share with you guys to kick things off here this evening. Then we're going to do a parade lap as well tonight in Jonathan's memory. I don't know how many. I think we're actually going to do 4 maybe for the site laps. Everybody's going to do parade laps, so we'll get into that in a moment. But before we do, let's actually talk about what's going to happen here tonight in this race, and we'll go ahead and take a look at our qualifying times. In the 450 class, Alexis Leclerc has gone fastest here at Fox Raceway 2 with a 2:21.898. Tyler Lang in second there, but he's a ways off. Look at that, almost 3 whole seconds behind Leclerc. So Leclerc has got something figured out here on this Fox Raceway track. You got Matthias Janis there in third, Chase Blakely fourth, and Luke Magnetti in fifth. So pretty tight-knit group there. Going to be interesting to see outside of Leclerc's fast lap what kind of settles into that group. And then if we move to the 250 class, Logan Leitzel on a 2:24 flat has gone fastest by 1.8 seconds on Payson, Johnson, Balzer, Wilcox, and Burns all in the mix right there. So Rasmus Balzer back this week. Good to see the Swede. Actually, he's the Dane, but he's using the Swedish flag. Good to see him around again. But Leitzel, man, super fast in this 250 class of late. Let's talk about the championship standings coming in 450 motocross. Taking a look at Alexis Leclerc and Tyler Lang. Colby Eaglin still mathematically alive for the championship, but if Leclerc essentially outscores him tonight, he will eliminate him, leaving just Lang. But Lang's been on a bit of a tear of late, and definitely coming into form late into this season. In the 250 motocross class, there are only 2 riders left. It is Payson Johnson and Nathan Prynne. Prynne had a abysmal round 10 of this championship at Ironman and looking to bounce back. I didn't actually see his name in qualifying, so let me double check and see that he actually is here tonight. It's not looking like he is. I don't see any of the French flags, so it looks like we might even crown a 250 national champion for the second year in a row. Payson Johnson here tonight, but we'll get into that in a little bit as we get ready to go racing here. Did I get timed out of the server? They must have restarted it. Yeah, that's my mistake. Apologies for that. But yes, thank you again so much for the outpouring of support already in chat coming for Jonathan Alexander. Very sad to lose someone at a young age like that, as well as someone who was so much a part of our community here in MX Simulator. It's a tight-knit group, tighter than I feel like a lot of people in the community like to feel sometimes. And when we lose one of our own, it's always really tough. So, wow, shout out already. We got Bobo with 148 Canadian dollars. Thank you so much. Braden Carter, he drops in $20. Hashtag 4JA. Hashtag teammates for life. And then a huge one there from Yogi944, also known as Austin Bear, $148 donation. And A reminder that every single person that donates tonight, I will send those donations straight to the Alexander family as they, mourn in this time, and they deserve it. Obviously, in this situation, it's a tough deal to go through when you lose someone, at any young age, at any age really, but to lose Jonathan at such a young age is really, really sad. So going racing tonight, but going racing in a bit of a somber mood. I feel like a lot of guys here getting ready to race tonight. We're friends or fans as well of Jonathan, and I feel like you could feel that sentiment in the RaceFactory Discord today. A lot of people were pretty stunned to hear this news. It does seem like, some people already knew, some close friends, but nobody wanted to actually share the news, basically for sensing for his family to be able to grieve and stuff like that. But I know that a lot of you guys were close with him, so we'll do what we can to have a good broadcast tonight in memory of Jonathan. And hopefully tonight as well, we have some good racing in memory of him. We have some close battles, a lot of fun on the racetrack, and all doing it here live on Start Your Systems. Also, thank you, Kyle Carpenter, $10 donation, #4JA as well. Wow, tough deal. Braden Carter saying the Alexander family also lost 3 other family members as well as Jonathan. That is really unfortunate and just sad. Keeping them in my thoughts for sure. Moto Chasin as well. Thank you so much, Chase Donovan. He donates $20. #4JA, #rest in peace. Indeed. And you're going to see a lot of guys tonight running that hashtag, as mentioned, 4JA. Not sure if it's going to show it in chat. We got a consi tonight, so you can see we're going to have 13 guys go in the consi. And actually 6 riders in the 450 consi. Interesting. I'm surprised they didn't just do 42-man gate. But looks like that is the plan of attack. So 250 consolation race, 4 laps coming up. And the top 4 riders out of that one will transfer through into the motos. And the 450 motocross consolation as well. 6 riders go for 4 laps, top 4 transfer. And even as somber as the feeling is throughout the paddock here tonight, we are still going to drop the gate and go racing in MX Simulator as we have done essentially every week this year. Coming up on, this is the 28th time that we've gone racing. And still not champions crowned just yet. So we're going to maybe see a champion crowned in this 250 class tonight. Maybe in the 450 class too, but it does seem a little bit more of a long stretch coming into this one. A quick shout out to Seabolt, Jeremy Seabolt, also with a $50 donation. Rest in peace, John. He writes, indeed, in loving memory there of Jonathan Alexander. It's a tough deal, but that's why we're still going to drop the gate. DZ with a $10 donation. #4JA. We miss you, dog. Absolutely. And Douglas Marcasia as well, a $10 donation. Thank you so much. All of this going to the Alexander family for Jonathan. #4JA. Love to see it, man. The community, the MX Simulator community, as small and as niche as it still is, I feel like comes out in full force when really anything like this happens. I can't honestly say that I remember a member of the community being lost like this to this magnitude before, but we've definitely had situations where community members were either seriously injured or had some tragedy that they went through as well. And I feel like every time the MX Simulator community has stepped up. So this is not a surprise to me, but obviously this is still just fantastic to see the support pouring out. Carl Novak as well. He donates $10 with the #4JA. DZ, also another $10 donation. Thank you guys so much for the outpouring. All of this going directly to the Alexander family. And AMB as well with a $1.48. So thank you guys again so much. As mentioned, though, we are going racing tonight. And 13 riders are set to battle out here. It looks like only 11 actually will be lining up for the consolation race. Kyler Hockey with Maxime Vanderbeek, Seth Harnischweger, Will Clark, Colton Hansen, Darius Peterson, Nate Braw, and Christopher McPherson with Hayden Stevenson, Blake Wickland also going to the line for this consolation race. Wow. U-Air with a $100 donation in memory of Jonathan Alexander. Hashtag 4JA. And Fluke Moog with a $20 donation as well says it's from Matthias. Hashtag 4JA as well. Love to see you guys coming out in full force, and just love to see you guys all still here tonight. Like I mentioned, there's a lot of people in the Discord earlier today that, reached out to me and either told me a story or just explained that they were teammates with him. And, I hurt for you guys for sure tonight as well. It can't be easy after hearing this news to still try to line up and focus and go race. Even if it's just a video game, it still takes a lot of concentration and focus to do well in this game. And when something like this happens, it's very hard to focus, obviously. So thinking about anybody that's been close to the Alexander family over the years tonight as we get ready to drop the gate. Here on the 250 consolation race. So we're going to go racing, folks. Fox Raceway 2 National set to begin. 2 consolation races will be ran tonight. This is the first one. It's 250 consolation race. Action at Fox Raceway. Who is going to get that all-important hole shot? It's up the inside. It's Blake Wickland on the number 13 AEO Power Sports machine. He gets out front with Seth Harnischweger right behind him as they cross the Studio 8 hole shot award line here on lap 1. Quick shout out to Colby Yule as well with a $5 donation towards the Alexander family. Hashtag 4JA. And Huey as well with a $14.99 donation. Hashtag 4JA, the man who could make anyone laugh. Rest easy, buddy. Indeed, rest easy, Jonathan Alexander. As we continue with the consolation race, there was some crashing in the background there. I think that was Harnischweger that went down. Meanwhile, Darius Peterson around the outside has taken over the race lead. So it's Peterson leading from Tanner Thorson. Yeah, Thorson, Blake Wickland, and Maxime Vanderbeek up front early on. So these are your 4 riders in transfer spot currently. And look at how close they all still are. Peterson got the lead, but Thorson has gone with him. Wickland is still right there, and Vanderbeek almost loops out the 72 in the background. Top 4 nose to tail as Thorson tucks the front wheel coming off the hill and gets back on right as Vanderbeek fell in line behind him. Now Thorson again a front end tuck, and that's going to push him back to 4th and allow Harnischweger with Nate Brow and Christopher McPherson, Hayden Stevenson, Colton Hansen. Everybody's still pretty close here on the first lap of the race. Vanderbeek, Wickland, Peterson up to the front again as Darius Peterson, the team Nami, as mentioned earlier, that hashtag 4JA, everybody running it. Oh, most people running it, I should say. A lot of people are probably just receiving the news recently, so they may have not had a chance to change their name yet, but there are a lot of hashtag 4JAs out here tonight as we remember Jonathan Alexander. But it is Peterson in the lead from Wickland. You got Vanderbeek coming through in 3rd, and Thorson, who had settled back into 4th, and it looks like he is relaxed a little bit and pulled back away from that P5, which is now Nate Brow. He has gotten around Seth Harnischweger. So Brow goes through. There is Harnischweger, as mentioned, closing in. Up and over that tabletop. These two are trying to push each other forward. Actually, Brow has moved up into that 4th and final transfer spot. Who went down? It was your race leader, Darius Peterson. And Peterson drops back to 9th. That is how quickly things can change if you fall out front. There's actually quite a few very talented riders amongst this group of consolation race racers. As now Wickland has gone back to the front. It's Wickland away from Maxime Vanderbeek. And then Tanner Thorson now settles into 3rd. As mentioned, Nate Brow has gone to 4th. So it's Brow and Harnischweger Still trying to battle it out, but Nate Brau's kind of pulling away just a little bit here. Big jump down the hill for Harnischweger. It's a tricky racetrack. It's kind of deceiving where it seems easy. There's not the big hills. There's not the weird off cambers or anything like that. It's flat corners. It's short downhills. But it's still pretty easy to override this track. Overjump something. Land a little bit too hard. What have you. And these riders pushing the envelope all the while as well. So Wickland continues to lead. Vanderbeek has moved back into second. Nate Brau had caught this group, and then they kind of shuffled positions around. So Thorson went back around Brau, who was through on him into third temporarily. They hit that wall jump and down the backside. Like I said, there's been a lot of guys that have been struggling with that wall jump. Not too many guys have hit it and actually launched down to the double like they were in real life. There's a lot more guys electing to just hit it like a normal wall jump and kind of backside it, continue on after that. So it remains close at the front here. Halfway through the consolation race, we still have a lap and 3/4 to run or so. We just rejoined back on the start line right there. Still Wickland from Vanderbeek and Thorson, who we have on screen here with Brau behind him in fourth, and then it's out to about a 4-second gap back to Harnischweger. So this lead group has started to expand it just a little bit more, making it a little bit more comfortable to know that you don't have a position right on you, but it's still a little bit nerve-wracking to be in this position, especially when everybody's still so close like this. You just feel like you're constantly in a battle, even if you're not actually trying to battle your way into a transfer spot, as Vanderbeek lands hard on the inside and has to come to nearly a complete stop. That's going to allow Thorson to at least think about an opportunity up the inside. Elects to back out of it, but it's also allowed Nate Brau on that 473 into the mix, or the 573, excuse me, to that top of the step up there and dropping back down. These guys trying to really launch down off the hill there. Up the other side to the palm tree corner, aka the Faulkner corner, people calling it that now after Faulkner launched his way up into the palm tree. There is Thorson, has the rear end kick out a little bit. That's what I was talking about on the hot lap, courtesy of atom.com, is it just seems like that drop down is way slicker than you expect it to be. You feel like you're going to get a drive off the top of the hill and power down through those rollers, but the rear end just likes to slide the little bit that you're leaned over coming down that hill. You don't really have any pressure towards the ground because you're not G'd out on anything. So your bike's kind of floating and not really hooking up with the ground. And Thorson's rear tire really almost kicked out underneath of him there, but he settled back in nicely and remains here in fourth, so he's in a transfer spot. Now the question is, does he kind of settle into this fourth or does he keep going after it? 8 seconds back to Colton Hansen and Will Clark, who are battling it out for fifth, as into the SpongeBob on the inside goes Nate Brau. That's going to push him back to fourth again, so you can see here the gap back to Hansen and Clark. Not an ideal scenario there for Nate Brau, who had just moved back into third place. Now he is sitting on the bubble, and those guys definitely closed up a little bit as well. Back to your race leader, though, it is Blake Wickland on the AEO Power Sports number 13. I believe he's actually number, let's see, he's 113, but he's running the 13 here. Carries some momentum through the rollers up the hill. Well on his way to a race victory here in the consolation race at Fox Raceway. If you're just joining us, consolation race in the 250 class going on now. There will be a 450 consolation race as well coming up. And you'll also notice several riders running the hashtag 4JA in their name. Several people in chat as well donating and sharing the hashtag 4JA in chat as well. Jonathan Alexander, a longtime racer with us, sadly passed away on August 28th. And we are using tonight to remember him, his career, and his life as best as we can with a fantastic night at the races in MX Simulator. So final couple sequence of corners coming up for Blake Wickland, and he will stamp his ticket into the motos in just a few moments. Top 4 out of this one qualify through with the fast 36 riders who have already made it into the motos to make up our 40-rider, 30-minute plus 2-lap racing action in just a moment. But down this final straightaway, Blake Wickland over the wall jump for the final time, going to bring it down to the checkered flag. And it's going to be Blake Wickland winning the 250 consolation race. Maxime Vanderbeek ends up second. Tanner Thorson will get third, and Brow survives to come across in fourth. Will Clark will be the first man out there in P5. Colton Hansen in sixth. Hayden Stevenson here in seventh. Christopher McPherson back in P8. Seth Harnischfeger slipped back to ninth. Darius Peterson, who led at one point, will end up 10th in this one, and Kyler Hockey will bring up the rear in 11th. Hockey tossing a little Oppo whip over the big table. Oh, he's not actually going to end up last, or will he? It's a battle for P10. Oh, to the flag. Hockey made a little mistake. Peterson got that scrub off nicely. See if Hockey tries anything a little gnarly here to the finish line. They both launch the wall jump to try to get the double down. Peterson shorted a little bit. It's going to be a drag race for 10th. Oh, Peterson looped out almost, and Hockey gets it on cuts regardless. Let's see if cuts changed the transfer spots. No, it did not. So Wickland goes through with Vanderbeek, Thorson, and Brow out of this one. All right, great racing action so far, and more to come soon here on Start Your Systems. All right, back in studio here, Kellen Brower in studio, bringing you guys the action. Good to see all of you guys here and chat with us tonight. So many people joining us in the chat room, and it's great to have all of you guys here as we get ready to continue the night's action. 450 consolation race should be coming up next, but there are only going to be 6 guys, so I wonder if we'll actually see them all transfer into the motos, and we'll just have 250 Moto 1 coming up in a moment. Excuse me, we'll keep an eye on that though. But again, good to see everybody showing up tonight, really in full force. Some of our highest viewership numbers we've had, really in the last maybe half of the year at this point so far. So good to see so many people showing up and supporting in memory of Jonathan Alexander. And we're going to keep providing more and more racing action throughout the night. Okay, so it does look like indeed we're going straight to 250 Motocross Moto 1 coming up, and they added 1 rider to make it 41 riders in 450 Motocross Moto number 1. Now coming up, I believe at the start here of 250 Moto 1 in the parade lap, they're going to do a lap of remembrance, a slow lap if you will, around the racetrack for Jonathan Alexander. Pretty sure the plan is to do that for both classes here tonight. So we'll see whether or not I get loaded in fast enough to even see that, unfortunately. because my skins take forever in this game to load up. But we're going to do a lap of remembrance, I believe. Take the sight lap serious, definitely. Take it serious, guys. Oh, man. Like I said, I really, I didn't get a chance to know Jonathan too much outside of what he did in the racing community here. But he sounded like a great guy, and, you know, honestly, even to broadcast tonight, I'm choked up a couple times because it's just, you know, he was kind of one of us, in a sense. We all have tried really hard to keep this game going and be competitive in this game and have fun racing this series and stuff like that. And he was just like any of us, doing the same and putting his best foot forward out here and trying to do well in the motos and compete and at the same time have fun doing it. So it's really just so sad to lose him. And definitely, like I said, think about his family and his friends all throughout this. As mentioned, if you're just joining us, anybody that donates to the broadcast tonight, because you guys have super chatted all the while, all those donations I'm going to send to the Alexander family in this time. So, you know, again, thanks so much for the donations and all this we're doing for Jonathan Alexander and his memory here tonight. So we're going to have some good racing coming up and do so in his memory. All right, let's get back in the server as we get ready to do 250 Moto 1, but remember that parade lap coming up. All right, parade lap coming up. As mentioned, going to be a slow lap in remembrance of Jonathan Alexander. Thanks again, guys, so much for tuning in tonight. Hopefully you're having a good night wherever you are. And, you know, count your blessings. Remember, life is short, you know. Got to take in these moments, take in the memories that you make with friends, whether it's gaming online or doing something out with your buddies. Always try to cherish all those moments that you can, because you just really do never know when it's going to be the last time. All right, we're loading up now to check out this parade lap and see. Great to see. Looks like a lot of guys are rolling around. Everybody's pretty much in a big group here. This is really cool to see. Led by Nick Tomasunas here, Payson Johnson. It's actually, you can see Payson Johnson's actually running Jonathan Alexander's jersey here, which is just so awesome. You can see him rocking the 148 there. Let's go over and actually watch these guys go through. It's pretty neat. You don't normally see a cluster of riders all together the way that these guys are going around the track right now. So it's actually quite unique in a sense to see all this. But everybody rolling around the track and just soaking in the moment, really. So there is Payson going through. You can see everybody rolling around here. I'm just going to be quiet and let us soak it up a little bit. Just such a cool moment right there as everybody joined up there at the end on top of that little jump and revved it to the moon in memory of Jonathan Alexander. Rest in peace, buddy. We're going racing in your honor tonight. And the action is set to be intense, fun, exciting, all the above. As we get ready to drop the gate here in MX Simulator here at Fox Raceway 2. Some chaos into the first corner, and the hole shot's going to go to Rasmus Balzer. Rasmus Balzer picks up the Studio 8 Hole Shot Award on the motorsport.com number 50. It's Trevor Burns with Payson Johnson coming around the outside. Moving up behind Braden Tharp. Tharp on the 415 also in here. As Balzer leads, and everybody is still very tight-knit here on the opening lap of the race. So it's Balzer, Tharp, Burns, Johnson up the inside going through the roller section. You got Siebel to the outside as they go up the hill. They are all giving chase to Rasmus Balzer. And look at, fittingly enough, Balzer running the 148 Jonathan Alexander jersey up the hill on the first lap. Great scenes here as Balzer jumps down the hill in the lead. Tharp there in second, but he's under attack up the inside. Comes Trevor Burns. Burns then gets together and they both go down. Burns front flips and goes off the side of the track. So out of second goes Tharp. And he takes Burns with him. That moves Johnson up into P2. You got Siebel right there as well. A couple slide outs at the top of the hill. Up the hill goes Rasmus Balzer. Then you got Johnson. You got Siebel, who has moved up into third place. Wilcox right behind him. Leitzel. Seth Shirley to the outside with Cooper Hunt and Daniel Irvine behind him. James Wilcox coming off the hill with the 94 of Cavacuti alongside Jake Melton on the 118. The 71 there of Neil Fitzpatrick. Rider down in the mix. That was one of the Cowies. Here we come into the completion of lap number 1, 250 Moto 1 here at Fox Raceway. It's Rasmus Balzer leading. This is going to go 30 minutes plus 2 laps. This is going to be a long one. Those lap times over 2 minutes. And the track will deteriorate throughout with the erode system. So Payson Johnson, with no Nathan Prynne here tonight, is definitely sitting pretty for an opportunity to lock up the championship. And essentially speaking, as he entered here tonight with, I believe, a 29-point gap already on Prynne. As he tucks the front wheel, that's going to allow Thomas Wilcox on the 33 to sneak up the inside. And Wilcox goes back into second place around Payson Johnson. So now Johnson will have to fight back here and respond in some shape or form. You also have, is that his teammate Leitzel on the 13 closing up? It does appear to be so. So Leitzel, your fastest qualifier here tonight, and has been very fast of late moving into the fray here. Johnson up the inside was actually off track right there, so he's not going to make the pass because he may have gained an advantage there. Goes to the outside as Leitzel tucks inside, and it's a drag race contact. And Leitzel and Johnson rubbing a little bit into the corner there. But yeah, so it was a 29-point gap for Johnson entering this moto. So theoretically speaking, if he is able to gain 21 points in this moto, which pretty much means finish second or win, he would be over 50 points in the lead of Prynne going into the second moto. And so long as Prynne does not start the second moto, which isn't going to happen because he didn't qualify tonight, but theoretically speaking, of course, Johnson will wrap up the title as soon as the gate drops in the second moto. So a little bit on the line already in this one to at least maybe finish up inside of that top 2 to solidify it. But he's dealing with some serious heat already as he almost landed sideways but corralled it back together. His teammate Logan Leitzel, though, is not playing around of late. He has been very strong on this 13. Look at these guys launching out to that single jump off the table. And yes, I apologize. I forgot to put up the timer and the moto. I was kind of just too busy soaking in the lap there for Jonathan Alexander. Had to mute my mic just honestly because I was getting a little choked up myself. So I completely forgot, but I'll remember to do it for the 450 moto coming up. As we go back to our race leader, Rasmus Balzer. Balzer on that motorsport.com. Number 50 back in action with us here this week. Scrubbing it off the whole shot table. He's already got a nice lead built up here. And it's Leitzel now moving around into second place with Johnson right on his tail. Wilcox back here has slipped back to fourth behind those two. Cooper Hunt comes through in fifth. Seth Shirley there in sixth. Jeremy Seabolt found his way into seventh with James Wilcox landing off the jump here in P8. Neil Fitzpatrick will run through in ninth. And Tharp rounds out our early top 10. Only 5 minutes, almost 6 minutes into this 30-minute plus 2-lap moto number 1 at Fox Raceway. What a start here for Balzer, the Danish rider on this motorsport.com KTM. First we've seen him back here in a long time. It feels like it's been a few months, really, that we've seen Balzer at the races. But he has come back with authority already. Getting that whole shot, pulling out to a nice lead. It is Johnson that's going to move into second place here pretty early. He has gotten back around his teammate Leitzel there. Still nose to tail. 32.9 and a 29.1, their first official timed laps through. So let's stick on board with them here at the end of this lap and kind of see where lap times are in the early runnings of this. The track is still developing slowly. You're going to see the ruts get a little bit better around this 10 to 15 minute mark of the race before it starts getting a little bit too choppy in some sections where guys will start switching up their lines. Launching out to that single, those guys both downsiding it pretty clean now. Are both these guys actually hitting this wall? No, they're just backsiding it instead of doubling through and carrying speed throughout. So let's see lap time check here. So 26.6 Leitzel, 25.3 Johnson, a 27 flat for Balzer. So right there, 1.7 seconds alone that last time through for Johnson gained. He's definitely on the move right now. 31.5 out of Wilcox there in P4, 29.5 out of Cooper Hunt there in fifth. Shirley on a 30.1, a 31 dead for Seabolt, 33.8 now for Fitzpatrick across the line in 8th, a 36.1 out of Wilcox, that's James, Thomas's brother, and Tharp at a 33.4 coming through in 10th. He's got Pinkerton and Cade Matherly right behind him. Matherly is actually racing Jonathan Alexander's Phil's KTM tonight. Normally rides for that Stance program. He's still got his number 100 jersey on, whereas some riders is just going to shoot up the inside and make a quick pass. Some riders electing to run Alexander's gear or jersey tonight. I actually downloaded a couple packs right before this stream that a couple people just actually put Alexander's jersey over their regular gear set that they would normally be running here tonight. So that's kind of a cool tribute to still run your setup, but then just have his jersey on. But as mentioned, some riders are running his full gear. Some riders are running his bike, in this case like Matherly. And it's just cool to see the different ways people are showing their love and support for Jonathan Alexander and his family here tonight. So there's Seabolt moving back down to the 250 class here towards the end of the season, trying to find his flow a little bit. We saw Carter move back down to the 250 class at Budds Creek, I think it was, and win it. Oh, battle for the lead. Balzer and... Actually, that's not the lead anymore. We've got a change. Logan Leitzel has gone to the front. A big change. Wilcox now right behind him. And you got Hunt in third. Balzer back there in fourth. And Johnson now back to fifth. So huge change as Johnson nearly tucks the front end and goes down. Not quite sure what happened there. Interesting as... You had Balzer and Johnson 1-2, then they went back to 4-5. Now they're up to 3-4 again. to try to run down Wilcox and Leitzel. So Thomas Wilcox, Logan Leitzel now out front. Wilcox is kind of closed up a little bit here on Leitzel. Lap time check 27.8 to a 30.5. So yeah, definitely pretty much 3 seconds gained last time alone for Thomas Wilcox on the Phil's KTM with C4 Designs backing. Oh man, right there on Leitzel, pushing him now, seems like. Leitzel carrying speed down past the start gate there, and Wilcox cutting up the inside, launching a little bit further. Almost pulled alongside as we kind of had dualies over the hole shot table. They both try to really get that backside of the step up down cleanly. And now carrying speed all the way out to the back of the track here. Up through this roller section to the top of the hill. Wilcox and Leitzel! Leitzel front end tuck outside, goes down. Wilcox takes over the race lead. Here comes Johnson. Johnson will also go through to second. Balzer goes through to third as Leitzel tries to get it turned right at the top of the hill. He will remain in P4, now behind Balzer. And it changes the complexion of the race just like that. We have a new leader in the form of Thomas Wilcox. So Wilcox on that Phil's KTM, which I believe was the team that Alexander was still on when he had passed away, unfortunately. So that'd be pretty cool for them to end up on top of the box here tonight in some shape or form. And Wilcox doing his best to do that team proud out front here at Fox Raceway. It's a home race as well for Wilcox, who's from somewhere in the high desert, I believe. I think he's Hesperia maybe or something like that. Or is he Lancaster? No, he's somewhere around there, so it's fairly close to Fox Raceway. Give it like a hour and a half drive or so. Definitely closer to Fox Raceway than he is to Hangtown. Leading now on to lap 6. Back to our battle for second. And it's heating up, actually. Balzer is getting there on Johnson and not letting the defending and perhaps new championship-elect get away here. Couple little mistakes right there, and Balzer's drifted back a few now. He's still right there, though. He is not going to let Johnson sneak away, I don't think. Go on board with the number 50 here. Whew, I thought Balzer was going to step through the front door right there. Got the rear end over, or the front end, I should say, over that little roller. And it almost was lights out, I feel like. Big step up to the top of the hill. Johnson kind of went perhaps a little deep up there. Now launching back down the hill again. Man, Balzer's got some pretty good lines worked out. He's doing some different things than what we're seeing out of Johnson. It's some of it works, some of it doesn't, but I like that he's just switching it up and not following here. Certainly, I feel like at least making Johnson kind of think about where he is. So 24-7 followed by a 25-7. Johnson pulled away by the tune of about a second last time through. But more importantly, he caught race leader Thomas Wilcox by 1.3 or so seconds. So this is definitely going to heat up at the front, I feel like, as we reach the halfway point of this moto. We'll stick with it for a little bit longer. There's Balzer and Johnson, and you can see that 33 of Thomas Wilcox. He is trying to sneak away, but those guys are reeling him in slowly but surely. And it seems as though Johnson is being pushed by Balzer, and indeed he pushes his front end over the outside rut right there. So down goes Johnson, flying into the corner. Comes Logan Leitzel. He is going to go by, though. So Johnson remounts back in P4. Oh, Balzer down immediately after. And now Leitzel goes through on him as well. Here comes Johnson as Balzer gets going. Oh, the rollers is like terrible to try to get going in because you just don't have the speed to double your way through, which is ideally what you want to be doing through there anyway. So a little bit of ground loss, and now Leitzel here in second place going to come under attack from his teammate. And suddenly they've caught Wilcox, so I think Wilcox went down as well. Johnson switches up his line. He's going to go far inside here to try to get a run. Nothing doing just yet. Dropping back down off the hill here. Oh, Johnson, filthy little flick scrub there. So smooth. Won him a title last year. And that talent looks like it's probably going to win him a title this year. Big scrub out there for Leitzel. Johnson giving chase here. Look at this inside line, too. He kind of triple-doubled up to the inside. That was really nice how he pulled that hop line through the braking bumps off. And I'll tell you what, man, we have got a battle for the lead on our hands here. Thomas Wilcox is trying to run away from Logan Leitzel. Leitzel is certainly closed up, and the lap times continue to drop, it would seem. The track is weathering in a little bit better as time goes on. The ruts are getting deeper. These guys are pushing harder into the corners. So it's Wilcox from Leitzel, Johnson third, and Balzer fourth. Our top four separated by it was less than a few seconds. Now it's going to go out to about 6 or 7 seconds with Balzer's tip over there, but man, there's nothing in it out front right now. They hit the step up, downside it, and Wilcox goes second from the outside. Leitzel goes all the way to the outside rut, and I think that option maybe worked a little bit better. It seems like the 13 has closed up that little bit more. Out through the roller section. Boy, oh boy, Logan Leitzel has been oh so good of late, and Wilcox goes down. Leitzel takes the lead. Johnson up to second. Is Balzer still close enough? No, he's not anymore. Just coming into fray now in the background, and even he slides out. That is going to allow Cooper Hunt through and into fourth. So the 38 machine works his way up. So now back to our lead duo, and it's the same group we saw before. Leitzel leads, Johnson trying to catch him. Oh, kind of dually scrubs to the left. Johnson kicks back to the right. He's got an outside line here, but Leitzel's going to shut the door and hold him behind for the time being. Now they jump off the top of the hill. Oh, big corked out scrub there for Leitzel. Johnson kind of double whipped. Inside move for Johnson. He's going to pull up alongside, but Leitzel able to launch back out to that single, pulls back away again. Now down to the finish line jump we come, coming up on 20 minutes in. That time is going by awfully quick in this moto. I feel like these races have been fantastic at the front. Oh, Leitzel down. Front end push in the middle rut, and off he goes. That puts Johnson into the lead. That will move Wilcox up to second. Leitzel remounts in third. Balzer has moved around Cooper Hunt into fourth, just immediately crashes after he does that. And now Hunt moves back into fourth. Balzer remounting in an awkward position here. Has to turn all the way around and cross a few ruts to get going again. Not in time, though, for Seth Shirley to go by, and then Jaden Wilson also went through. So now that we've got things maybe a little bit settled down at the front, let's go ahead and give you guys a top 20 rundown. This one is brought to you by atom.com. He brought you the hot lap a little bit earlier on tonight, so head over to atom.com today. Check out his music and his merch, and support longtime community member Adam Holm in his future career endeavors. Payson Johnson leads on the Underground RC #1 hashtag for JA. Everybody out here racing in memory of Jonathan Alexander, who, if you're just joining us, sadly passed away on August 28th. He was a longtime community member, longtime pro racer with us, and we're racing tonight in his memory. Johnson leads and is wearing Jonathan's jersey tonight as well, so cool little remembrance there for his friend. Second place for Thomas Wilcox on the Phil's Ski and Snowboard KTM with C4 Designs backing on the number 33. Was your leader, drops back to second. Logan Leitzel also was a former leader of this race. Now back to third on the number 13 Underground RC Cowie. Fourth place, Cooper Hunt, another Underground RC machine. This time it's the 38, as he holds off the number 441 of atom.com. That's Seth Shirley in fifth place, just ahead of Jaden Wilson on the Impact. It's number... It's normally 260 in the GPs. I always forget Wilson's RF number. 65, that's right. There in P5. Rasmus Balzer down again on the motorsport.com number 50. So coming through now, Lane Wofford on the Boots House number 1A1. He moves up into sixth place. So Balzer back to seventh on the motorsport.com number 50. Eighth for Ryan Pinkerton, the Yogi Designs number 395 machine. Ninth is Trevor Burns on the Underground RC number 50. And 10th for Cade Matherly, who is riding Jonathan Alexander's number 148 Phil's KTM, but he's normally riding his number 100 Stance Honda. Rounding out your top 10. 11th for Seth Carr on the Underground RC number 347. 12th for Luke Sullivan on the Yogi number 18. 13th is James Wilcox on the Phil's KTM number 74. 14th, I believe this is. No, 15th, excuse me, for Jeremy Siebold on the Impact number 9. 16th for Neil Fitzpatrick on the Proline Designs number 71. 17th for Ryan Swanson on the AEO Powersports 137. 18th for Alec Horn on the mobgraphics.com number 310, but he just went down, so moving up to 18th is Devin Davis on the number 27 Yogi Designs machine, but he is also Jonathan Alexander's former teammate, so he's running JA's bike here tonight. Horn drops back to 19th, and Casey Cochran on the BPC number 90 rounds out your top 20. That's been a top 20 rundown brought to you by atom.com. Back out front here with give or take a little over 6 minutes and 2 laps still to go. And Payson Johnson is potentially on his way to clinching his second consecutive RaceFactory Gaming Pro Motocross Championship. With no Nathan Print here tonight, it was pretty much a foregone conclusion. But so long as Johnson can command a plus 50-point advantage when the second moto starts and Nathan Print is not on the line, he will officially clinch the 2021 RaceFactory Gaming National Championship in the 250 class for the second year running. And it very much looks like he is well on his way to doing so. He's not got a huge lead, though. Thomas Wilcox is keeping him honest. Oh, that's not going to help, though. Wilcox, high sides and downs. So there goes Leitzel. And will he get up as, is that Hunt getting here? No, that's Austin Bear on the 94, a lap down. So Cooper Hunt just a little bit further back at that. As he comes through up the inside here. Scrubbing over that finish line jump there for Cooper Hunt. There is Wilcox still trying to regroup. Oh, Johnson's down. And there's Leitzel to the lead. And it quickly changes just like that. Logan Leitzel retakes the race lead out front here. Away from Johnson. Still in this position, though, he would then command a 51-point advantage on Nathan Prynne going into that second moto. So still looking good here, so long as he doesn't lose another position. It is still Wilcox back here in P3, though. If things get a little bit frisky out front, we'll go on board with Johnson. Oh, that's not good. Cross jumps and clips the hay bale coming into the roller section. So Wilcox will now go through and into second place. And here comes Cooper Hunt as well. Hunt to the outside of his teammate, backs out of the challenge. Playing very nice with him. And now Johnson is no longer in a position to clinch just by simply starting the second moto with Prynne not there. Needs to leave here with a 50-point advantage. Sits at 49 right now. Your race leader, though, is Logan Leitzel. And as is, I feel like, typical with this game, Leitzel's resurgence late in this championship has unfortunately come at the cost of him getting injured while he was riding for the Troy Lee Designs Gas program in Canada. So while he's dealt with that injury, it seems like he's picked up the controller and started absolutely shredding again in MX Simulator. And it's culminated in one of the best stretches of his career so far. He's been going back and forth between the GP scene and the national scene the last couple of weeks and winning motos, winning overalls, and simply being one of the fastest 250 riders in the world. Now, could he be on his way to yet another moto victory here at Fox Raceway? We've got 3 minutes and 2 laps left to find out. But I'm sure Thomas Wilcox and Payson Johnson behind would like something to say about that. Well, Leitzel pushing a few corners there. Goes to the outside when he wasn't trying to. The corner before. Settles back in. Oh, no, he just slid out and went down. That's going to put Wilcox to the front. And Johnson back through into second place again. Hunt is not close, but now our 3 riders out front are suddenly going to be pretty close together again. No, outdoors third place is 20 points. Motocross and Supercross points scoring is different. Motocross is 25, 22, 20, 18, 16, 15, and then all the way down to 0 or 1, basically, with 20th place. Whereas Supercross is 26, 23, 21, 19, 18, 17, all the way down to 1 in 22nd. So, as such, Johnson needs second place, which is 22 points, to move ahead by 51 points on Prynne. And then the second Prynne does not start the second moto here. He will leave here 51 points down of Johnson, barring any sort of penalty, of course, but it's unlikely. And we'll be able to officially crown Payson Johnson as your champion at the start of that second moto. So long as he stays here, though, he's got to try to run Wilcox down for the lead and get away from his teammate Leitzel closing in from behind. Oh, Leitzel landing on a hay bale there off the side of the track. Johnson going nose high to the top of the hill. Oh, that's Wilcox down. That was definitely Wilcox on the ground right there. Can't ping onto him yet, but there we go. So he will remount in third, and back to the Underground RC duo out front. Getting ready to settle it amongst each other, and they are just going to miss the clock. As Johnson comes down, we'll do the camera mode because it'll give us a more accurate inclination of when they actually cross. So coming down to get the flag as the time switches right there. It was 29:46 on the clock, so they missed it by 14 seconds. 3 laps to go here at Fox Raceway, and it's going to be between Leitzel and Johnson, at least for the time being, to decide who's going to win this first moto. Should be a good one. Can Leitzel run down his teammate? Or does Johnson have that little extra oomph in him to stay ahead? Leitzel down again in the same corner he crashed a lap ago. So Wilcox goes back through. That's going to give Johnson a pretty sizable advantage here. Now time has expired. 2.5 laps left to go here at Fox Raceway. Wilcox has got to try to close up. Leitzel's still back here. And Cooper Hunt is within striking distance if things really get sideways. You got Seth Shirley still holding on to a strong top 5 here. It's put a pretty sizable gap already here on Jaden Wilson in 6th. Balzer slipped back to 7th from his whole shot. Lane Wofford is coming up here in 8th. 9th for Luke Sullivan. And Matherly still rounds out the top 10, clipping a SpongeBob on the inside right there. Was a lapped rider, the 94 of Dylan Cavacuti. Well, there's still some positions to be played for here. But right now, everybody's watching this man, Payson Johnson, pull away in the distance. It's been him versus the Frenchman Nathan Prynne all season long. Really a tremendous battle, and up until the very last round at Ironman, Nathan Prynne had the championship lead. Very rough first moto for Prynne, so Johnson provisionally took the points lead away from him. And then Prynne DNF'd the second moto. It was a rage quit, and it seems like it was a rage quit to game uninstall or something along those lines, because Prynne is not here tonight again. And it's unfortunate that a championship fight that was as close and competitive as long as it was has now resulted in essentially what will be a walk-home victory for Johnson. But this is the Payson Johnson we expected all year long. And he has delivered on a number of occasions. And more importantly, delivered when it counts. The pressure of the championship on, needing to get the points lead back. He stole that points lead away from Prynne and is now sitting on the precipice of a second consecutive 250 national championship. Haven't heard yet whether he plans on moving up to the 450 class. He certainly would be competitive in it if he chose to. But maybe he wants to stay down and win another 250 Supercross title, or switch coasts and try to sweep all the 250 classes in his career. Whatever he chooses to do, he's been fantastic on the little bikes. And now potentially on his way to a second outdoor title in as many tries. Thomas Wilcox still back here. Oh, Cooper Hunt has gotten through into 3rd on Leitzel. So a change between the Underground RC Cowie teammates. Inside line. Oh, Hunt down on the outside. And through as well goes Shirley. So that's going to be Seth Shirley moving up to 4th. He's going to be stoked with that result if he can stay there. Oh, thank you, Hayden Stevenson. In chat, let me know that Johnson says he's going to try 450 SX round 1. And if he does good, stay in 450. If not, race 250 East. Interesting. He is your reigning 250 West champion. So he would be trying to complete the sweep, if you will, by jumping to a different coast this next season. But it does sound like that is dependent on how he does, at least in the opening couple of rounds on a 450. I personally feel like he is move up to the 450 class and become instant championship level material, in my opinion. We saw what he could do earlier this year at the Houston 2 Supercross when he was on his way to winning that race, and in an effort to not point out of racing 250 West later on, he pulled over and I believe allowed Jack Haley to win that main event. So he was on his way to winning. There was no question about that. And certainly seems like he knows how to get it done in the 450 class. It'll be exciting prospects if we see him there next year. But right now, it's all about this 250 championship. And it's all about the man of the hour, Payson Johnson. Surely he will know, someone will let him know at least, that this race victory will almost certainly stamp the championship for him. I can't imagine a scenario where Prin is allowed to race the second moto if he was even here. He did not make it in for UID grab. So anybody that, I mean, I guess the only way I could see it is there was technically no consi. If there's less than 40 guys on the gate for the second moto, they may let him in. So officially speaking, we will have to wait and make sure Prin is not out there in the second moto. But with this victory in the first moto, it is almost a guarantee that Payson Johnson is going to walk out of here as the 2021 250 class champion in RaceFactory Gaming Pro Motocross. And what a season it has been. A few corners left to go. Wilcox still in second. Shirley up to third. What a great result this would be for the 441 if he can find his way out of the box. He's got heavy pressure from the two cowies behind him. Gonna go defensive. And Lights will push the front end outside, so Hunt goes through. We'll get back to this battle in a moment. Meanwhile, Johnson, victory lap out front. 2 corners left to go. And the championship is essentially his. As mentioned, he stepped up at the times that he needed it the most. He has really come alive late in the season. He's won the races that he's needed to win, and it's likely going to afford him a championship. But at least for right now, Payson Johnson wins 250 Moto 1 here at Fox Raceway. Wilcox coming down the hill. Should be good enough to wrap up second place. And back to this battle for third. Shirley, Leitzel's gotten back around Hunt. But it's Shirley who has moved into third and stayed there. Let's see if he gets these last couple corners done cleanly. And I think this is going to be a career best result. I can't remember if he's ever made it on the box in the RF Nationals. So great run here for the 441. And I feel like he's going to be pretty pumped with this result regardless. Down the wall jump one more time. And Wilcox did finish up in second. It's going to be Shirley that crosses the line third. Big oppo whip. He's stoked with it. Leitzel ends up fourth. Cooper Hunt will cross the line in fifth. How about Balzer regrouping nicely late in the moto to bring it back through here in P6. Not quite done just yet. Jaden Wilson's giving him a run here. Luke Sullivan as well. But it is going to be Balzer P6, Wilson P7, Sullivan P8. Lane Wofford coming here in ninth. Let's see if he holds it though. Battle the line with Matherly. And Matherly just going to miss out. Half a second down. Ooh, launching the wall jump right there is Seth Carr. Trying to get over the top of James Wilcox. It did not work. So Wilcox ends up 11th just barely as he crosses the line. Carr across there in 12th. Fitzpatrick, he'll come through in P13. 14th will be Ryan Pinkerton with 15th Casey Cochran right on his heels. 4/10 down in the end. Siebold trying to jump over Trevor Burns at the flag, but he went down. So it will be Burns ending up in 16th. Siebold remounts. He should be 17th, no problem. Tyler Shields is going to come down and pick up 18th here. Chris Post will be 19th. And Devin Davis looking to round out the final points paying position. Alec Horn is just going to miss out so long as Davis gets through this last straightaway clean, and he does so. Horn and Wickland, the last two riders on the lead lap, so let's take a look at cuts after they come through. It was Horn, Wickland, Love, Smith, Gatland, Melton, Wolf, Tharp, Thompson, Swanson, Cavacuti, McLaughlin, Vanderbeek, Delat, Thorson, Tomasunis, Gerst, Brow, Irvine, Nygren, and myself in warm-up mode, the rest of the field. As here we go, cuts are in, and jumping to 19th, Devin Davis gets around Chris Post on cuts. Pinkerton leapfrogged Fitzpatrick for 13th. Matherly gets around Wofford for 9th. Sullivan jumps around Wilson and Balzer for 6th. Big change there. But it is Johnson, your big winner here in 250, Moto number 1. All right, let's make sure I got these labels set up correctly this time. Make sure you guys are A-okay to see all that. And we'll jump back in studio here momentarily. Kellen Brower in the booth, bringing you guys the action here from Fox Raceway. Hopefully you're enjoying yourself on this somber night as we remember the life and times of Jonathan Alexander. Brian Haskell says, who holds the record for the most pro RF starts? Show you. It is this man right here. Actually, oh, he's disappeared. It's like he's disconnected. But yes, Devin Davis has the most career starts. He sent me something earlier this year that was like a graphic of it all, but I forget. I want to say like it's like over 200 races or something like that, I feel like. But why do I feel like 233 is the right number? I'm probably wrong, but something like that. Combining Supercross and Motocross. Oh yeah, I love that Kenny wallpaper. It's one of my favorite photos ever by one of my favorite people ever, Todd Gutierrez. Great stuff. Luke Sullivan says his offset went to 1600, 5 minutes all the way back to 40th, and makes it all the way to 6th. Hey, that's pretty good. Not too shabby. Gotta be pretty stoked with that ride. It's the 450 Moto number 1 coming up next. Real Life 250 Championship. If Jet beats Cooper at Hangtown in the first moto, he's champ, right? Yes, he's got a 23-point lead. So if he wins the first moto, it's a 26-point lead. And can't make up 26 points in a single moto. So yes, Jet winning the first moto at Hangtown would be your champion. I mean, does anybody think he's not going to do it? I was a little skeptical. I was like, he could crash. He's little wild at times, but gosh, he's been solid down the stretch. And Cooper, we believe he has a broken thumb, and we believe that he's been battling some sort of illness. I'll leave your imagination open. Just has fallen off, unfortunately, and kind of ruined the championship fight that was going to be pretty good down the stretch, especially with Jet catching fire there. Said fire like an Australian, catching fire. I will not forget the timer. Don't you worry. Who do I think wins Hangtown? I don't know. Tomac's been gnarly the last 2 rounds, so pretty hard to bet against him, especially at Hangtown. That's his vibe. That's where he won by, what was it, 1.5 minutes in 2015? Dude's nuts. So I'll go Tomac 450s and Moseman 250s. Moseman at the post-race press conference on Saturday was like adamant that he thinks he can win. He thinks like now is the time. He finally believes he can win. Hangtown is more or less his hometown race. He's from Northern California in a town called Sebastopol, which is up like 30 minutes north of San Francisco. So then Hangtown, which is in Sacramento or nearby Sacramento, you know, San Francisco and Sacramento are like 3-ish hours apart. So Sebastopol is a lot closer to Hangtown than it is any other round. Washougal is probably a 10-hour drive, like 8 to 10-hour drive from there. So it'd be his home race essentially. Yeah, I think Jet's going to scoop the title for show. Guido Vlog says, Ya fui viciado MXS breve compra PC top pra votar hogar. Indeed. I don't know what that means. And I took 5 years of Spanish and I still don't know what that means. I think he's saying, yes, I went to visit MX Sim or something like, I don't know. I lost him halfway through there. Do you also stream MXGP on MX Sim? I do. I do stream MXGPs on Monday. All right, I believe we're going to have another slow parade lap in memory of Jonathan Alexander. So let's go ahead and get back into the Soiva and make sure we don't miss out on that. Chase Hendrickson says, what should I do to get better at MX Simulator? Play it a lot, all the time, several hours a day. Indeed, here we go. Another slow lap in memory of Jonathan Alexander. And Jacob Hubbard, his former teammate, leading the field around here. Running Alexander's jersey there, the 148. Just so great to see the outpouring of love and support for Jonathan Alexander. Shout out to Douglas Marchese as well with that $5 donation. You think Mozamin or Shimoda have a shot at the 250 overall this week, and I think they both do. But thank you for the $5 donation. That's going straight to the Alexander family. And I'm just going to shut up and let you guys listen to these 450 guys roll around slowly. Fantastic scenes there as we do one final parade lap in memory of Jonathan Alexander. Here we go, folks. 450 Moto 1 is lined up and ready to go here on the gate. And we're going to see who gets that all-important hole shot. Who shall we watch here on the gate? I did not see Tyler Lang. That's a good point. Someone brought it up in chat. Let's see if I can find him real quick. Yes, he is here. Okay, Tyler Lang is here. He's up the inside. He was very close with Jonathan Alexander, and he's trying to fight for a championship. Let's go racing here at Fox Raceway in memory of Jonathan Alexander. It's out of the middle. It's a Phil's KTM. Jacob Hubbard rips the whole shot. So it's Hubbard out front on the Phil Ski and Snowboard KTM. Moving into the race lead, though, is Aaron Rockefeller. Rockefeller to the front. And we got two guys rocking those Jonathan Alexander jerseys out front. So it's Rockefeller from Hubbard. Hubbard launching the triple and gets it. Almost pulls up alongside, but backs out of the challenge. These 450 guys, they get a little bit more oomph. And they can clear some of those bigger jumps that you don't normally see on a 250F. To the outside comes Luke Magnetti now. So we've lost Hubbard from this early little mix at the front. I think he's still actually there right in third. Yes, he is. But Magnetti on the 30 moves into second place. Then Hubbard, Holm, Lang, Janis, Gress, Mills, Bob Joe, Chase Donovan. Got Jet Woods and Robert Wilson, Blake O'Brien, Ohashi, all up here in the mix. Ooh, Magnetti launching almost alongside. He's going to try to go to the lead on the palm tree step up into the back. Launches up the inside, and Magnetti takes the race lead away from Rockefeller. Big whip out front for the 30. There's Rockefeller back to second. Hubbard launching out to that single, moves into third place. Trying to monitor Alexis Leclerc's progress. He's got an awful start down there in 26. See him hopping through in the background there. Not ideal when you have this man, Tyler Lang, right up there now moving into third place as race leader Luke Magnetti went down. Rockefeller goes back to the front. It's an 18-point deficit that Tyler Lang has to make up. He was better than Leclerc earlier this week at Agueda. Going 1-1 there. Can he go 1-1 here tonight? He's already in the second place. And racing for the memory of his good friend, Jonathan Alexander, Tyler Lang is trying to go to the race lead here at Fox Raceway. He's got Hubbard coming with him. He goes up alongside on the step up and he scrubs it nicely. Can he get to the inside? Yes, Tyler Lang to the lead at Fox Raceway. Absolute scenes as Hubbard tries to jump back behind in second place. Rockefeller holds on, but what a story for Lang to be leading. The number 14 Underground RC Cowie. Hashtag 4JA goes to the front. Rockefeller settles back still in second place. Hubbard, Magnetti, Holm, Janis, Mills, Bob Joe, Cole Gress, Chase Donovan over the hill. Everybody's still pretty tightly knit at the front, which is going to benefit Leclerc if it stays this way. But for Lang's case, obviously, he wants to pull away and pull away now. As he was 18 points down, winning the last 4 motos of the year is not going to be enough on that alone. He needs Leclerc not to finish second place in all those motos as well. So he needs some help from some of these guys in the mix here, like a Magnetti, a Holm, Janis with a good start. Mills has been strong of late. Cole Gress with a good start, and of course Rockefeller still running in second place. All these guys can be helpful to Lang depending on how quickly Leclerc gets through the field. Right now it's a 14 machine out front. Carrying good speed and momentum down to the finish line jump, and he's already opened up about a 2 or 3 second gap on Rockefeller. I saw Leclerc in the background there. He's right behind J.R. Reyes here, so he's moved into 19th now. Oh my gosh, almost getting into the hay bales there. Now he's pulling up alongside Reyes. Oh, Oh, Reyes holding steady, but now he's going to go to the outside. That's Leclerc's opportunity to pounce. Up the inside he goes. Another rider down right there. That was, he just picked himself up. Was that Bear, maybe? Donovan also slid back here, so it could have been him. Leclerc trying to go to the outside of Castaneda and Jeffrey Bruns to make that pass. Castaneda trying to hold steady alongside Leclerc. Doesn't want to let the champ go. Not going to let him either. Pushes him out. Stays ahead, and these four riders in the air at the same time as Castaneda now goes up the inside of Bruns. Bruns crosses over in front of Leclerc, and Leclerc has to kind of go nose high to not get involved there. Now goes up the inside trying to pull alongside Bruns. Can't get the double. Very hard to make up ground on this track and or make a clean pass, especially with so many 90-degree corners. Leclerc, nice move there, doubling around the inside, gets it done. Next up, he'll set his sights on Castaneda. Seth Garrett ahead of him with Hubbard at the top of the hill now. So Hubbard's lost some positions. He's now behind Reed Young, Kevin Gonzalez. Colby Eagland went through. James Ohashi. Robert Wilson, Cole Gress, Adam Holm, Daniel Mills, Matthias Janis, Luke Magnetti, and Aaron Rockefeller. So this battle for second has continued to remain sizzling hot as Rockefeller tries to hold a host of very talented riders behind. And he's doing a fantastic job of that so far, riding the wheels off that underground RC Cowie. But to the tune of a 7-second lead ahead of him now. Tyler Lang has stretched this thing out. Magnetti gets into the rear tire of Rockefeller and slides out. It was in an awkward spot right there, but fortunately people able to split either side of him. Oh, Janis lands backwards and goes down. D-Mills cuts the track. Holm now makes a pass as well. But Tyler Lang out front. Oh, Magnetti and Holm come together. That was awkward to say the least. It was maybe a tad aggressive from Magnetti, but also it's weird that their lines even came together. So strange little sequence there puts Holm on the deck. He's going to repass the 85 of James Ohashi here and go back after Robert Wilson if he can. But the groups out front have kind of opened up again. So 8 minutes in to this 30-minute plus 2-lap race, and Tyler Lang, if anyone, I feel like he was probably the most affected by this situation. Messaged me earlier today and told me a little bit about him being close friends with Jonathan Alexander, and sure, this has been a tough situation for him, but man, has he come alive of late. To go 1-1 on Monday and perhaps already knew about his friend, and now on the night that we remember him, to get out to this early lead and continuing to stretch it out. Pretty incredible stuff here. Rockefeller still holds on to second. Daniel Mills is creeping up there in third. Rider down in the background, I think somebody laid it down. Or is it just the yellow flag waving for nobody? So Mills has certainly got the fire lit tonight. He is riding very well. 28.7 last time by. Nice little scrub there for Mills. Definitely does seem like he's reeling in Rockefeller a little bit here. Get a lap time check of our leaders this time through as we approach the 10-minute mark of this one. Mills, 28.9, 29.8. Rockefeller upped his pace that last time by 23.3 for Tyler Lang out front. Believe that resets fastest lap of the race, and he just gained 6 whole seconds on Aaron Rockefeller that last lap alone. Mills is still back here chasing with Janis at a 31.1, 29.1 out of Magnetti, a 30 dead out of Cole Gress, a 29.4. out of James Ohashi. 41.5 out of Adam Holm. He had a fall last time through. 31.3 out of Kevin Gonzalez. A 32.9 out of Reed Young. A 40.2 out of Robert Wilson. And Leclerc now at a 28.9 finds his way into 12th. He's going to go to 11th, though, as Wilson just slides out, but then tries to get back into Leclerc's line, and Leclerc punts him out of the way. That was probably a bit overzealous for Wilson to think he could get back to that line, but it also was Leclerc pretty much just forcing the line down the inside and not letting him have it. So racing hard turns into hardly racing a little bit there. Now the question is, can Leclerc end up in second in this race? Suppose there is still ample chance he could win this thing, but Tyler Lang has been pretty unflappable out front in the early runnings of this. So Leclerc, to limit the damage, going to try to find his way into second. Meanwhile, in second place, Aaron Rockefeller has Daniel Mills up the inside, and Mills through just like that. Nice move out of the 15. Mills has been very strong of late, and right now he is looking ever so feisty, moving into second place. Janice, Magnetti, they're also coming through as well. They would like to get around Rockefeller as quickly as possible if they can and continue the fight up ahead. Scrubbing off of that, Magnetti almost didn't bring that one fully back around, but these guys are no stranger to landing a little bit sideways as Mills was down. Rockefeller goes back into second place. Magnetti shoots to third. Janice stays in fourth, essentially. And now back to fifth place goes Daniel Mills. Cole Gress is sneaking up on this group as well. Then you got Holm, Gonzalez, and Reed Young dealing with Leclerc. Leclerc has made his way around the 85 of James Ohashi. I think that's now ninth, I believe. Down the inside, Leclerc trying to get a nose on Reed Young, and does so. That is going to be ninth now for Leclerc, so he moves up to ninth, and he's going to set sail after Kevin Gonzalez. Adam Holm just a little further up, and then this battle continues. Cole Gress backwards and down. Slid off the face of that little single, and fortunately, that's probably about the quickest fall-off crash you can have because he came to a dead stop and fell off, so he pretty much immediately picked the bike up. And stays ahead of Holm. But this battle is still quite intense. Mills versus Magnetti, and they are trying to keep tabs on Janice ahead as Janice tries to reel in Rockefeller. So pretty much the only person that has not had some sort of fall, trouble, or anything of the sort in this moto is Lang. Lang is gone at the front of the field right now, and leaving these guys to do battle behind him. And just reading in chat there, Braden Carter letting me know nobody knew until today about Jonathan Alexander's passing. So just heavy day, really, for everyone involved in the MX Simulator community. We're racing for him tonight. And I feel like so far we're doing a pretty good job of putting a great race together for him. These guys are doing a lot of good things at the front of the field, dicing, battling fairly cleanly. Also fun to see a bit of a surprise up here as well. Aaron Rockefeller, he is holding steady coming to the halfway point of this moto. Perhaps riding with a little bit more heart tonight as he reps Jonathan Alexander's jersey, and he continues to maintain second place. Tremendous effort for the 800. Moving around, though, into second place now is Janice. And a nice move for the 130 machine. Rockefeller slides back behind him. It is still an underground RC 1, 2, 3, though. It just feels like we're watching the 250 race all over again with those guys always out front. Little slide out and continue on there. To the outside comes Mills on the 15. Who's going to get the power down this back straightaway? Are we going to get some dualies? Kinda. Little dualies. But Rockefeller out of one battle and right into another. These guys are trying to go forward and try to keep tabs on Lang, which is at this point a little bit impossible. He's pretty far ahead, but do what they can with what they've got. And Mills is still applying the pressure here to Rockefeller. He got a little out of shape through the rollers, though. Magnetti slipped back to P5. Gress 6th. Holm 7th. And Leclerc 8th at halfway. So Leclerc was 26th at the end of the first lap. He has now found his way to 8th. With 16 minutes down, 14 minutes and 2 laps still to go. So realistically speaking, we've got about 20 more minutes of this moto left. He's got time in hand to make some very strong moves forward. And with second place, I don't know how far you would classify that as. With Janice, you got Magnetti coming down behind Rockefeller. And then a little further back, you're going to see Cole Gress. Another 5-second gap to Adam Holm, and then Leclerc. So, I mean, what is that? Give or take maybe 25 seconds up to second place. Get a couple crashes in there. That'll definitely benefit Leclerc. He's already working on longtime rival Adam Holm up the inside on the palm tree step up. And an easy move in the end into 7th place. So Rockefeller has been passed by Mills, and Magnetti is next in line to try to make it around the 800, who has done very well to hold the spots that he has, but finally the dam looks like it's burst a little bit. And Magnetti through into 4th. Back out front to your race leader. 22 seconds in hand, a 24-1 last time by. Tyler Lang riding the race of his life. And obviously with his emotions heavy, this has got to be a challenging one, but he is doing a fantastic job leading this race. And we're going to give you guys a top 20 rundown brought to you by R-Jerky. Head over to eatrjerky.com. Use that code SYS20 for 20% off your order. And get some delicious beef jerky. Teriyaki is a great flavor. They got salt. I think they got black pepper, excuse me. They got sweet and sour is another flavor. Bunch of different good stuff there. Definitely would recommend going to check it out. And they bring you guys this top 20 rundown, which Tyler Lang, the Underground RC, hashtag 4JA, number 14 machine leads as he rocks Jonathan Alexander's number 148 jersey. Second place for Matthias Janis on the Underground RC, number 130. Third for Daniel Mills on the Jack Daniels Racing, number 15. Fourth is Luke Magnetti on the BPC, number 30. Fifth for Aaron Rockefeller on the number 800 Underground RC, Cowie. Sixth place, Cole Gress on the Yogi Designs, number 143. Your defending champion, the number 1 of Alexis Leclerc on the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna Factory Racing Machine is P7. 8th for Adam Holm on the atom.com, number 17. 9th for Kevin Gonzalez, the privateer effort on the number 31. And 10th is Colby Eaglin on the Underground RC. Number 24 as he battles it out with Frank Jackson, the team nominee number 47 machine. In 11th, 12th for Reed Young on the number 37 Integrity Cowie, hashtag 4JA as well. Robert Wilson in 13th on the BPC number 62. 14th for Seth Garrett on the SPR number 43. 15th is James Ohashi on the C4Designs.co number 85. 16th for Braden Castellaneta on the Underground RC number 63. 17th is going to be Kyle Carpenter now on the Tiger Designs number 39. 18th goes to Austin Bear on the Yogi Designs number 944. 19th was Hubbard, but he just went down, so moving to 19th is Dylan Smith on the Jack Daniels Racing number 732. And Hubbard getting going with Bob Joe, so Bob Joe brings up the rear. Hashtag 4JA on the 103. That's your points paying positions so far. About halfway through 450 Moto 1 here at Fox Raceway. And they're all still chasing this man, Tyler Lang. So an 18-point advantage for Leclerc entering. Oh, Lang's down. A blemish a little bit on the armor, perhaps, as Lang hits the deck. That will cost him 10 seconds. He should rebound still 18 seconds in the lead, give or take. We'll see what happens when Janice gets there. But as Lang leads and Leclerc still sits back at now 5th, Leclerc will be losing 9 points in this moto alone if it stays like it is. So that points gap suddenly in half. Lang only 9 back with 3 motos to run. Mills and Magnetti going at it. Mills hard on the brakes to the top of the corner there as Magnetti swoops around the outside to take over 3rd place. Got Janice up the road here. Up and over the top of that hill. Still in 2nd place, but it does seem like Magnetti is trying to close up and do so in a hurry. 26-1 versus a 29-5 last time by Luke Magnetti, the man on the move. So Janice is now about 19 seconds down, kind of as I expected. 28-second lead when Lang went down. About a 9-second fall-off crash as Janice now goes down. Magnetti has to avoid him, but Magnetti is going to move into 2nd place. Mills to 3rd. And Janice remounts still in 4th, and suddenly Leclerc is going to be a lot closer to these guys. So the battle for 2nd has turned into Magnetti versus Mills, as they're 21 seconds off of your race leader. But it does seem as though Magnetti is maybe got a bit more pace than Daniel Mills, and Mills will instead have to worry about the closing Matthias Janice once again, and or Alexis Leclerc, who's entering the finish line section behind these guys. Certainly getting interesting down the stretch here with Leclerc trying to close in and limit the damage. So how much damage can he limit if he's able to get into 2nd place? Keeps it at a 15-point advantage with 3 motos still to go. And leaves him being able to finish 2nd throughout the rest of the season intact. Leclerc is certainly closing up quite quickly. 25-8 last time by. 3 seconds down now. Oh, look at Leclerc doing that double up the hill there. Definitely smelling some blood in the water. He sees some opportunities to gain those points back ahead of him. With time winding down to a little over 6 minutes still to go. He has time to work with. And we're getting to that stage of the moto where Leclerc has been one of the best riders on track repeatedly. Took him a while, did Leclerc, I feel like, to get used to the road system. He was struggling a little bit with setup late in the motos. Whatever he has done to adapt to it, he has done so very well, and now is one of the strongest riders down the stretch as the track seemingly gets rougher throughout. That's a fair point Joey Arico raises in chat right now, though, is that not necessarily being taken out by the Underground RC teammates, but Lang's teammates currently occupy, well, just right ahead of Leclerc, Janice in 4th. And it's going to be interesting to see how hard he races Leclerc. I don't imagine he's going to make it easy for the Frenchman. We're about to find out. Leclerc has closed right up on Janice for 4th. Have to imagine Leclerc just wants to make this move quickly and go on with it. Does not really want to sit back here and second guess it all. Gonna try an inside move there, but it doesn't work. Oh, pulls up alongside. Janice is gonna run him high. No, Leclerc holds it on around the outside into 4th place. What a move by the defending champion. Lang continues to occupy that 25-second lead. And next up on Leclerc's list, 3 seconds up the road, is Daniel Mills. A quick shout out to Sacrificial in chat for the $20 donation, hashtag 4JA. As a reminder, every single donation you guys drop to us here tonight, we'll be sending it straight to the Alexander family. It's the least us MX Simulator community members can do as a token of remembrance to the Alexander family who have lost their son, their brother, and some have lost a friend. As we all remember Jonathan Alexander here at the races tonight. So thanks again so much, Sacrificial, for the donation. And everybody that's donated so far. Been a lot of you guys, and very much appreciated. Love to see the support pouring out from the MX Simulator community. You guys absolutely rock. All right, we've been keeping tabs on Leclerc, and for good reason. He is closing up very quickly on Daniel Mills for 3rd place. And as these guys go through the switchbacks here in the flat, Leclerc is trying to eye up an opportunity to move his way into 3rd. And can't imagine it won't be too long before he is going after 2nd place as well. As it sits right now, he is losing 7 points, meaning it is going to be an 11-point advantage on Lang with 3 motos to run. And the math gets a little bit trickier at that point. Leclerc would still win by finishing 2nd place in every single moto after that, but if he finishes 3rd once and Lang wins out, we'll have to go back to tiebreakers because they would tie. So trying to get into 3rd place, Leclerc, in an effort to limit the damage, and now he can almost certainly see at the top of the hill there as well, 2nd place man, Luke Magnetti. Launching down that hill into the braking bumps. Not afraid to get on the brakes late is the defending champ. Now up the inside, going to try and move on Mills at the top of the hill, perhaps here. Mills goes defensive, very nicely done up the inside. So Leclerc back to the drawing board again in a battle for 3rd. Both tucked to that 2nd from the outside rut there as they work their way up the hill towards the palm tree corner. Is Leclerc going to try to tuck to the inside again here? No. Not quite just yet. Dropping back down the hill off the top. A nice layover whip there for D Mills. Now Leclerc's on him. Now the question is, can he pass him, and where as they get together and they both lay it over? Leclerc is going to get up first. Neither rider actually fell off the bike. The only thing that really does is cost Leclerc some valuable time. He's now going to be 7 seconds down to the man in 2nd place, Magnetti, and time is set to expire in 15 seconds here as Tyler Lang continues to lead the race. So Magnetti's still in second. Here's Leclerc in third. Daniel Mills has drifted back to fourth. Janice fifth. Holmes sixth. Eaglin seventh. Garrett is in eighth. Kevin Gonzalez running here in P9. And James Ohashi rounds out the top 10. We have not seen Ohashi in a good little while here, and he has showed back up tonight and gone straight into the top 10. So pretty incredible ride for him. And we'll see if he can hold on as Frank Jackson tries to close in late here. Braden Castellaneta also in the mix with Kyle Carpenter behind them. Reed Young a little further back, and Robert Wilson currently rounds out the top 15. Not really any close battles to monitor right now. So I'm going to go back on board with Leclerc because he's going to have 2 laps and about 4 seconds to catch Magnetti. We'll see if he's able to get it done. Should be a good one. And crucial as well. He finishes second in this race. He really sets himself up very well for the final 3 motos of the year. .23.8. My goodness, it's not faster than Lang's fastest lap, but that's pretty incredible. And that gap is coming down quickly to Magnetti. Gotta give credit to Magnetti here, though. As good as Leclerc is riding, Magnetti seems like he is just riding as well as he possibly can to keep the Frenchman behind him. Leclerc cannot afford to continue to finish third in these races if Lang is going to win him down the stretch. Yellow flags are waving at the top of the hill. Magnetti's trying to work through some lap traffic. Leclerc is doing the same. Lapper goes down and moves his way off the track, and suddenly that gap that was 4 seconds is closer to 2 as Leclerc goes pretty deep at the top of the hill and down. He OJ'd up the step up and went down. Mills is going to close up, but he's not going to actually get there to make the pass. That will more than likely solidify Leclerc getting third place in this moto, though, and not second. As Tyler Lang comes down, he will collect the white flag this time by, so 1 lap to go here at Fox Raceway. And Magnetti settling in here in second place, doing a fantastic job. Now the question gets raised a little bit is Leclerc and his ability to stay on 2 wheels on this last lap. Because if he goes down again, Mills is going to be right there for the taking. And instead of losing 5 points this moto, he could potentially lose 7 points this moto. And interestingly enough, I feel like Leclerc's starts have gone away as Lang's have come together. I don't know how that's worked out, but Lang, who's never really been a great starter, hasn't hole shot a lot, anything along those lines, just starts inside the top 10 fairly consistently. Leclerc somehow consistently has been finding himself outside of the points on the start, which more than likely comes down to crashing. But somebody or other people, I feel like, have either figured out starts and are closing Leclerc off into the first corner, and as he goes for it, he goes down. Or Leclerc is just simply getting bad starts. It's a bit of an anomaly for the man who has hole shot pretty much as many races that have ever happened in this game. But he has not been getting them lately, and it's really starting to kill him. Meanwhile, this man has been getting the starts, has the momentum going his way, and has a little bit more on his mind tonight than just this race, but he is still putting it all together. And this has been a fantastic moto for Tyler Lang to get into the lead as early as he did, pulled the gap as fast as he did, and maintained it as long as he has. Pretty much exactly what he needed here tonight in Moto 1, and it's going to set him up very well into heading into the second moto to do something similar. Big scrub up the hill. Let's see what he's got for us on this big table, or he's going to fakie backwards down the hill and crash. Getting a little bit too loose with it, but he's got a sizable lead out front, so doesn't really have to worry too much about it. If he crashes twice more, then I'm sure he'd have to worry about it, but right now A is okay. So just goes for the straight boner air off of the big table. 2 corners left to go. And absolute scenes here at Fox Raceway. Tyler Lang, who was so close with his good friend Jonathan Alexander. His heart is heavy tonight, as are most of ours, but his is perhaps the heaviest, and he's carrying that weight with him to the flag. Tyler Lang wins 450 Moto 1 at Fox Raceway. It is going to be second for Luke Magnetti, who survived the barrage of attacks out of Leclerc. Leclerc did get fairly close again at the end, but it will be Magnetti second. Alexis Leclerc will cross in third. And Daniel Mills brings it home in fourth. A great ride for the 15 here tonight. We'll see if he can come out fighting again in Moto 2. Knock on the door potentially for a podium tonight. That would be pretty cool for the 15. Janet's going to come through and finish up in fifth. He's been solid as a rock this year, and I feel like he's always right around this spot. Ends up inside the top 5 yet again. Adam Holm going to end up 6th pretty easily. That was Bear going down behind him. All right, back to 7th. Seth Garrett here. Just saying goodnight to my daughter. So, apologies for the silence. But Garrett will end up in 7th. It's going to be 8th for Colby Eagland. 9th for James Ohashi. And K-Carp going to end up in P10 in this one. 11th for Frank Jackson. 12th will go to Jacob Hubbard. 13th for Castellaneta. Kevin Gonzalez drag race Chase Blakely to the line. It's going to go to Gonzalez. And 14th, 15th for Blakely. Rockefeller up front for so long in this one. Ends up 16th. Robert Wilson will get 17th in this one. Reed Young will bring it home 18th. Dylan Smith should get 19th ahead of Cole Gress, who's charging. Austin Bear will be 21st, barring a crash. And then we'll get cuts. Cole Gress is sending it. Trying to get 19th. Oh, and he plows the wall jump. And he's stuck. He's stuck. Is this Austin Bear's opportunity? Gress has to back down, U-turn, and then right the ship. Austin Bear comes flying in. And I feel like this is going to come down to cuts here. As they come to the flag, we're going to get cuts in just a moment here. We've got one more rider still to finish. We'll see. 7/10 in it. Hi, thank you, Andrew. A-Money, Andrew Maroney showing up. Says, race examination is next level. Kellen, keep it up. Thank you, good sir. I appreciate that people enjoy those videos. Sometimes I feel like I'm painfully boring in them. Like, I examine some cool stuff, but sometimes there's just nothing to talk about in the races. This weekend was pretty good for it, though. Looks like Castellaneta got around Hubbard for 11th. And Ohashi goes from 9th to 13th on cuts. Yikes, that's a big yikes. Rest stayed the same as Lang, wearing Jonathan Alexander's jersey, takes the win in 450 Moto 1. All right, 250 Moto 2 coming up next. So back in studio here, Kellen Brower bringing you guys the action here tonight at Fox Raceway. On a somber evening, if you're just joining us, the jersey we're showing on screen here, Jonathan Alexander, the 20-year-old from Georgia, sadly passed away 10 days ago, or 11 days ago, excuse me, on August 28th. And the MX Simulator community just learned of his passing this morning. So we're dedicating tonight's race at Fox Raceway 2 in his memory. A lot of people racing with heavy hearts tonight. And all donations that you guys have donated in chat as well will go to his family, as we have his friends and his family and everybody that knew him in our thoughts tonight on a tough night, I feel like, for the MX Simulator community. But everybody's racing hard and coming through this strong. And we're getting ready to go racing in 250 Moto number 2 coming up next. Chase Hendrickson asks, what track should I ride on MX Simulator to get better? I would try really any like local cross type tracks. You could do stock tracks, but the traction is really challenging. So try like the Fam MX series tracks are good ones. There's a couple old ones like Next Friday MX, Los Banos. Those are some of the older ones that we all rode that were really good to learn on. But there's a lot of new ones too that are simple. There's not big jumps. There's just like tables, easy corners, things like that, that are really good to learn on and easy as well. That if you take your time learning those tracks, you'll eventually get better at those tracks. You can move up to more technically demanding tracks and slowly kind of improve your skills. Jesse Kolb asks, you should start a PS4 tournament for people that don't have PC. Well, you can't play MX Simulator on PS4, so I can't do that. If you're asking about like SX4 or MXGP 2020, there are tons of series ran on those consoles, and quite honestly, I don't think I could do them any better. It'd be fun to stream some for sure, but I don't plan on running any of those. It's already too much of my time is already taken up by these streams, to be honest with you. So not going to be running any races. Lane Burke says, I'm sure you get asked a lot, but how did the RacerX job come about? Did they find you on YouTube? Or the RacerX job came about because when I worked for Verb Moto for 5 years, and when they went out of business initially in 2017, I started searching around for another job, obviously, in the motocross industry. I'd like to stay there if I could. I graduated college with a degree in communication studies, a minor in philosophy. I wanted to be a journalist. So I was a journalist at Verb, wanted to be a journalist elsewhere. I got offered a job to move to Europe and work for Youthstream. I turned that down and instead pursued a job at Transworld Motocross. That didn't work out. So then I pursued a job at RacerX. I got pretty far in the interview process and that didn't work out. This was in 2017. But I kept applying there, applied maybe 3 or 4 more times. I kept up with the YouTube channel. And then Jason Wygant, who is the editorial director there, his son Lane is a big fan of SYS, so shout out Lane if you're watching. And I guess because Lane watches me all the time, Jason Wygant, started watching my videos more regularly and realized, like, hey, this guy is a big fan of motocross, he knows his stuff, he cares, etc., etc. So he reached out to me, and initially I thought it was just going to be like a, hey, we want like you to do a couple things for us, maybe work part-time or whatever. And he talked to me for like an hour and said, you know, what are your goals, what are your ambitions, what do you want to do, etc., etc. And I laid it out, what my goals in life, and wanting to work for RacerX and be a journalist and work in the motocross industry, etc., etc. I still thought it was just going to be maybe part-time or just get a chance to know him a little bit better and maybe do some work with him. And lo and behold, in late 2019, contract was emailed through and I gladly accepted. So that's how it all came about. Just persistence, always trying to get a job at RacerX, staying in constant contact with them, and I guess being a good enough YouTuber that somebody like his son watched me enough and he then watched me because of it. So don't give up on your dreams, I guess, because you never know who's watching, really. All right. Well, as we are about to load into 250 Moto number 2, I still don't see Nathan Print on the gate. Payson Johnson is here, though, and that means the 250 championship has been clinched. Payson Johnson wins it as the gate drops in 250 Moto 2. It's not going to be Johnson getting the whole shot. It's a KTM again. It's Gerst. Ethan Gerst with Jonathan Alexander's bike rips the whole shot from the middle on his Phil's KTM, and everybody funnels over the jump behind him. So it's Gerst, Shirley, Wofford, Horn, and Hunt inside of the top 5 here early. And your newly crowned 250 champion is somewhere here in the mix. Whew, people are getting sent all around off the track, trying to find. Where did he go? Did he get that bad of a start? I don't think he's back here, is he? Nygren's at the very back. Where is Johnson? There is no Prin, so Johnson has clinched this championship for the second year in a row, and I still have not found him. But he is your 2021 MX Simulator 250 class national champion. Congratulations on back-to-back titles for Payson Johnson. We'll give him full props after we cross the finish line again at the end of this race, but it's currently Ethan Gerst leading from Seth Shirley. Shirley with a third place in the first moto. This would be quite something for the atom.com rider to win this one. I'm sure he would absolutely love to. So as we bring him down to complete lap number 1, Gerst, Shirley, Burns, Leitzel along the right side of the track there. Oh, scrubbing up alongside. Not quite enough yet, though, for Leitzel to get up to the inside. And my apologies, it appears I have skipped it right over Payson Johnson. He was outside of the points, though. We'll get back to him a little bit later. As Cooper Hunt in the mix here, Rasmus Balzer behind Casey Cochran. 18 of Luke Sullivan. He's got a better start this time. Payson at the end of lap 1 looks like he may have crossed in 26, but he's losing more spots again. So he may have gone down again. And he is way back there. Maybe did he go forward actually, and there was someone else that crashed. Yeah, he must have went forward. He was 26 at the end of the first lap, though. Oh, rider down. That was your leader, Gerst. Oh, Ethan Gerst. He drops to 7th, and Tyler Shields also lays it down. And is that Sullivan? Yes, it was. Sullivan also went down as well. Daniel Irvine in the mix here with Jake Melton, Noah McLaughlin, Tyler Smith, and Devin Davis as they chase down Trevin Thompson and Neil Fitzpatrick, Ryan Pinkerton, and Gerst remounted behind Balzer and Shirley, Hunt, Leitzel, Cochran, but Burns has gone to the race lead. Trevor Burns, the Underground RC number 50 machine out front. Another guy running Jonathan Alexander's jersey here tonight. Cochran now settles into second place behind him. Leitzel, Hunt, Shirley, Balzer in a nose-to-tail fight here for second place, led by Casey Cochran. Much better start this time for the number 90 BPC Yamaha ride. Been up and down this outdoor season, I feel like. Good starts, good finishes, bad finishes. Let's see if he can turn this one into a good start, good finish. Got Leitzel closing up behind him, though. Leitzel trying to go to the outside. Look at the speed carried by the 13. Nice move in the end. Logan Leitzel goes through. Leitzel launching out to flat. You can see Burns landing off the table ahead of him. 5.5-ish minutes down, so we still got 24.5 minutes to go. Back to Cochran again, now dealing with pressure from behind in the form of Cooper Hunt on the number 38 machine. Oh, a little mistake for Cochran, and that is all the opportunity that was needed for both Hunt and Rasmus Balzer on the 50. He went up the inside as well and makes a quick pass around the number 90 machine. Yeah, look at Cochran. He's trying to fight back up the inside. Not going to work this time, but he is certainly knocking on the door of opportunity. Big scrub over the table there. Meanwhile, Balzer has charged forward and caught Cooper Hunt very quickly as well. Look at him launch the triple out of the corner here, trying to get a drive up the inside. Not quite there just yet, but the opportunity awaits. Meanwhile, Leitzel has taken over the race lead from Trevor Burns as his battle for third intensifies. Nice scrub by Balzer, and that's going to be enough to get the pass done. He stayed a little bit lower, and it works out in the end to make the pass. Little mistake just cost him again, and Hunt goes back by into third place. But as mentioned, new leader, Logan Leitzel out front. He was fourth in the first moto. Now takes over the race lead here. Been on an absolute tear of late. Trevor Burns moves into that second position. Burns was 16th in the first moto, so he's a little too far back, I feel like, to be a factor for even a podium, even if he were to win the second moto. But solid second moto here could do his overall result a lot of favors, maybe end up somewhere better inside the top 10 after that dismal 16th. Back to Balzer versus Hunt again. He is caught back up to the 38 rather quickly. Top of the hill and then back down. Launching down the hill one more time here. And we have still got 21 minutes and 2 laps to go. Hunt, Balzer, Cochran in view right there. And just off the back of these guys is Seth Shirley. As we continue to track the progress of Payson Johnson. Where has he made it up to? Balzer throws absolute filth off the table. It's the wall jump, trying to get that rear tire down, carry the momentum to the finish line jump, and it feels like we're watching the same thing a lap later. Balzer trying to scrub up the inside on Hunt, but Hunt shuts the door. So now does Balzer have another place lined up? He was very good through that finish line section. Little weird kick coming into the corner there. Settles it underneath him nicely though and continues on after. That's where he lost the position a lap ago after passing Hunt. A little further back, Cochran and Shirley coming behind these guys. And then Gerst, Fitzpatrick, Davis, Pinkerton, Irvine, Thompson, and then Johnson. So Johnson now repping the full Jonathan Alexander setup. Finds himself in 13th. Oh, and he does the Monea front flip, but he goes down. Gonna lose a lot of positions there. Doolies over the step up. But of course, Johnson's already clinched the championship, so it's all about pride now as Burns goes down in second place. And a lengthy fall-off crash as he flops all the way to the bottom of the hill. He's going to lose second. He's going to lose third, fourth, and fifth as well. He falls back to sixth with a little slide out at the end of it just for good measure. So Shirley and Cochran, the last two riders to go by him. They both scrub intently, heading back up the hill. And Gerst getting back into the mix here on Jonathan Alexander's bike. Wow, Gerst. Right up there suddenly makes the pass to get around Trevor Burns. Not playing around there is Ethan Gerst on that Phil ski and snowboard KTM machine. Oh, but he makes a small mistake and loses it back. We've seen so many of that already in this moto. Just they're little bobbles. We haven't seen big crashes necessarily. Except Trevor Burns just put a good one down not too long ago. But mostly just small little mistakes have cost positions, just one or two at a time. Still lights off front though, but after Burns went down, Balzer has assumed second place and he lays down a 2:26.7. Which I believe just reset his best lap of the race. Leitzel's done a 2:25.6. What's Johnson doing back there? 2:27.6. Let's watch Balzer and see what he's doing here. So a 27.3 out of Balzer. You look up at a 26.3 out of Leitzel. They're kind of matching each other's pace. Leitzel's upped it a little bit since Balzer's closed in. Doesn't want to let the number 50 machine get too close to him there. Back to this battle that continues brewing between Casey Cochran, I should say, and Trevor Burns. Cooper Hunt just up the road from these guys. So Burns trying to get around Cochran here. Move his way forward once again after that mistake. Crashing down the hill. Not ideal, obviously, but making it work. Picking himself back up to continue on in this fight against Casey Cochran. We are now past the halfway point of this moto. We'll see what happens in this battle real quick and then give you guys a top 20 rundown to see where everybody is at in the field. And Trevor Burns is just giving Casey Cochran the business here. All over that number 90 BPC Yamaha, but cannot quite find a way through just yet. So will he force the issue? Or is he content to try to settle in and wait for a mistake out of Cochran here? Good for Cochran, though, to respond and kind of even stretch it back out just a little bit. Burns to the outside here. Let's see if he goes for the triple. No. They're kind of closing up on Cooper Hunt just a little bit. Leitzel, Balzer. So Balzer has actually taken the race lead. What happened between Leitzel and Balzer? 36-1. Leitzel must have went down, and a 26 dead out of Balzer. So just a sudden change at the front like that. And let's go ahead and give you guys a top 20 rundown brought to you by atom.com here. It's Rasmus Balzer leading on the motorsport.com number 50 machine. Second place for Logan Leitzel on the Underground RC number 13. Third for Cooper Hunt on the Underground RC number 38. Fourth is Casey Cochran on that BPC number 90, still dealing with the attack from Trevor Burns in P5. Doolies on the Underground RC number 50. Sixth place is Ethan Gerst on the Field Ski and Snowboard KTM. Number 58, but he's running Jonathan Alexander's number 148 KTM in remembrance of him tonight. Seth Shirley on the 441atom.com. Cowie sitting right behind him, but he's actually going to pass him, which moves him up to 6th. And Gerst back to 7th. Devin Davis also on Jonathan Alexander's bike here in 8th. Number 27 machine on the Yogi Designs effort, but running his old Phil's KTM Brethren setup. Ryan Pinkerton holds down 9th on the 395 Yogi Designs effort, and your newly crowned champion Payson Johnson running a head-to-toe Jonathan Alexander get-up in this moto is in 10th. Trying to move to 9th, though, right here. Nice pass. All right, 11th. It's a battle, actually, coming into this corner between Neil Fitzpatrick on the Proline Design 71 and the 124 Cyber Designs machine of Noah McLaughlin. They're still battling into this corner, but it does look like Fitzpatrick's going to get the edge there. Now McLaughlin lays it down, so going through was Thomas Wilcox on the Phil Ski and Snowboard, backed by C4 Designs KTM number 33 and 12th. McLaughlin back to 13th. Jack Gatlin, the BPC number 369, moves to 14th. 15th for Dylan Love on the Proline Designs number 174, excuse me. 16th is Lane Wofford on the 181 Boots House Honda. 17th for Trevin Thompson, Cyber Designs number 151. 18th behind him, Cade Matherly, the number 100 on The stance normally Honda, but riding Jonathan Alexander's bike in this one. 19th for Tyler Schmidt. No, that's Tyler Schmidt. That's Tyler Smith. I can get it out. On the SPR number 123. And the final points paying position for Tyler Shields on the stool bend number 777. That's the top 20 rundown brought to you by atom.com. Whoa, change to the lead. Cooper Hunt has taken it over. The 38 machine goes to the front from Balzer. Burns, and now Leitzel has slipped all the way back to 4th. So things are changing here, and it's getting a little bit wild late in this one. Under 10 minutes to go. So can Leitzel reel this group back in? Oh, Balzer's trying to go to the lead on Cooper Hunt. We've missed so much of the lead battles, so I am not missing this one. Let's stick with it and see what happens. Hunt and Balzer heading up the hill. They charge down the hill together, funneling in behind each other. Hunt gets a little seat bounce off of that small table and pulls the traction up out of that 250 all the way up the hill. Balzer's kind of fallen back just a little bit and now kind of sneaking into the picture back there is Trevor Burns. Burns would like something to say about this battle out front as well. Oh, Balzer's lost the second spot. Burns has gone through. Missed what happened. Balzer may have gotten a little bit swapped out coming down those rollers. So Trevor Burns takes full advantage, and he moves up into second place. But Balzer is still right there. It's a battle of the 50s. I don't know who's correct. Pretty sure Trevor Burns is actually number 50, and Balzer is not number 50, but they are both running number 50 on their skins. It's all so confusing. Burns is running number 17, I believe, because in GPs he's number 17. But he's actually number 50 in the NA Outdoor Championship, whereas Balzer, who I don't believe has a 2-digit number yet, could be wrong, is running number 50 because that's his EU number. So it's all a bunch of hoopla, and I don't really know. It's like, whose line is it anyway? Everything's made up, and the points don't matter. So Cooper Hunt works his way out to this back section here. Carries momentum through the waves to the top of the hill, but oh, Burns lays it down and Balzer clips him. Somehow they both stay on two wheels after all is said and done, but a lot of ground lost obviously for Trevor Burns. Rasmus Balzer lost a little bit of ground to the lead. So Balzer has to go back to the drawing board to try to reel in Cooper Hunt out front. Hunt has been very good this entire season. Still battling for a championship in the GPs. Might have a real shot at getting it in the final round at Argentina next week. But at least for the time being, looking to pick up a moto win here at Fox Raceway. 5-1. We'll have to see how overall shake out. He might be in line for it, depending on how far Johnson gets up to. Remember, Johnson won the first moto. We still have a little over 5 minutes left. Johnson's now into 6th. But if Hunt wins, Johnson needs 4th to win the overall still. And this dude has been riding like an absolute madman here late in this one. I mean, I guess technically He really does still have a shot at actually winning this moto. He's not that far off the leaders. Look at how smooth he lands in that rut. A 224.9 last time by for Payson Johnson. Absolutely shredding right now. Catching Seth Shirley for 5th. He's going to try to go to the outside. This line is not that good compared to the inside, but he still almost made it work. And Shirley almost lays it down in front of him, and Johnson gets a little front end lock. So he has to go back to work again. Meanwhile, things tightening up a little bit out front. Balzer, Burns, they're close together. They are lapping Jeremy Siebel right now. And Leitzel not too far off the back end of these guys either. Leitzel 4th in the first moto. He would love to win this second moto. And once again, Burns versus Balzer for 2nd. Shirley is still ahead of Johnson for the time being, but I feel like it's a matter of time. He is looking for that opportunity to get through into 5th place, as Burns looks for the opportunity to get into 2nd place. Up the inside. No, not quite yet. Charging down the hill, they both funnel into that outside line, let their momentum carry into that kind of wall embankment at the bottom. And I'll tell you what, they have started to really reel in Cooper Hunt here. Hunt, Balzer, and Burns nose to tail out front. Oh, Balzer down off the side of the track. He was sliding out in the background. So Burns goes through. There goes Leitzel. Next up, Johnson will be the next rider behind him. We got 3 minutes and 2 laps still to go. Johnson wants to win this overall to really put a stamp on this championship. Hunt, Burns, Leitzel, Balzer, Johnson, your top 5. Late in 250 Moto 2 here at Fox Raceway. Ooh, right in the nose a little bit there into the corner was Trevor Burns. Ooh, and also riding a little high on that berm there. Burns is certainly pushing the pace here, trying to get your race leader Cooper Hunt. Both of these guys would be thrilled with a race win here. And Cooper Hunt, at least for the time being, is still sitting in position for the overall. Burns can't win it. Remember, he was 16th in the first moto, but he's just trying to win this moto to really get a feel-good story out of tonight for himself. Look at how hard he's pushing to the outside corner there. And carries speed back down. Oh, and Hunt, a mistake. Burns goes through into the race lead. That was the door of opportunity swung wide open. It was a tiny bobble. It turned into 3 crossruts for Cooper Hunt. And Trevor Burns takes the race lead. Leitzel still sitting back here in 3rd, but he just slid out, so Balzer's going to go back by. And at the moment, Johnson is in position to win the overall with a 1-5. But we're not done just yet. Leitzel now settling in behind Balzer, trying to go to work on the Dane for 3rd. Inside move, not going to work. That's where Balzer crashed last time by, though. Little oppo whip there for Balzer. He went deep. That's going to allow Leitzel to charge up the inside, perhaps. Turns to the outside, but then he lands in the hay bales. Balzer barrel rolls across the ruts and keeps going. Leitzel goes down. That's going to allow Johnson through into 4th place. Time is about to expire, but Hunt has already crossed the line, so 3 to go. Three to go at Fox Raceway. So can Payson Johnson make a few more passes and get this thing a little bit more interesting for a potential race victory down the stretch? Or is he going to be content to settle in with this 4th place finish? I don't think he's going to be content. I think he wants to win this moto if he can. And it's not necessarily out of the realm of possibilities, though I think he is going to need at least a little bit of help from your race leader, Trevor Burns. Not going to need help to get into 3rd, though. I feel like he is going to run down Balzer here pretty quick with the pace that he's been running. Although Balzer knows how to match the pace. We'll see. Man, it's getting close. Not only is Johnson getting close to Balzer, but the lead is tightening up as well. As we look at Johnson at the top of the hill here, trying to get to the outside of Balzer, crosses over, almost got some front end lock and loses a little bit of ground. Back to our battle for the lead. Hunt has caught back up to Burns for the top spot in this one. And you just get the sense it's going to come to blows a little bit here. And with Johnson lurking, the door of opportunity could be opened. Oh my gosh, it's much closer than I thought it was. Balzer and Johnson have both closed up so much on this last lap alone. Very curious of the lap times this time through. What a ride this would be by Payson Johnson, though, to come marching through the field, essentially, and even have a shot to get to these guys, let alone still maybe win this moto. Oh, Balzer went down on the inside. Yes, he did. Johnson up to 3rd. And the lead battle is on. 2-lap board is out. Burns from Hunt. And you can see just there in the background, closing up behind these guys, Johnson crossing the line. 5 seconds off the lead. He's got 2 laps to make it happen. Can he get it done? What a championship ceiling race victory that would be if he could do it. Burns is trying to keep the race lead for the time being as Cooper Hunt is starting to challenge. Hunt wants this win. Burns wants this win. Johnson wants to go 1-1. It's an absolute dogfight here in the last 2 laps of 250 Moto 2. Oh, down Burns. Burns went down and Johnson went down. What just happened? Johnson went down, and did he lag out? No, okay, he's back. Okay, so there was some weird lag there. Either way, Cooper Hunt has reassumed the race lead. Burns is now 7 seconds back, 8 seconds, and Johnson 5 seconds back. So now it's looking rather unlikely Johnson's going to win this race. He is going to need real help out of Cooper Hunt out front. Not impossible, though. And the white flag still has not waved. It is not over till that checkered flag is waving in the wind. Burns just trying to maybe get it close and hope that Hunt makes the mistake and Burns can capitalize. I feel like Johnson's going to be sitting back there chomping at the bit to try to get into second place at the very least and hope for a mistake out of his fellow teammates. So Johnson, even with a crash, does a 35-4, 37-4 for Burns, who had a crash, and a 29-6 for Hunt, who did not crash. So his pace has slowed. It's a 10-second advantage on Johnson. It just takes one crash, but Hunt does not want to have that happen. This would be a huge win for the 38 and a confidence builder too, heading into the finale of the GPs next week at Argentina as he tries to dethrone Payson Johnson in a motocross championship straight up. Sure, Hunt is going to be very satisfied with this overall ride if he can put a bow tie on it as well. Performance-wise, he did exactly what he needed to do in this moto. Maybe a couple too many mistakes than he'd like, but otherwise a pretty perfect race victory if it's what is on the cards for him. Johnson has moved into second place. He's gotten around Burns. It's 8.6 seconds, and the pressure remains on Hunt to perform on these last few corners of the race. Johnson is going to win the overall, but Cooper Hunt with a 5-1, looking at a very solid day for himself. Final few corners now for Cooper Hunt. One more time over the big table. He looks pretty stoked about it. Lays over a nice whip. Feeling the flow, feeling connected with the controller, at one with his performance. And he is going to reap the benefits of this one. It's not going to be an overall win, but it is going to be a Moto 1, and a big one at that. How about yourself? Cooper Hunt wins 250 Moto 2 at Fox Raceway. But in the end, Payson Johnson wins the overall at Fox Raceway, and your 2021 RaceFactory Gaming National Champion is Payson Johnson in the 250 class. For the second year in a row, congratulations to Payson on a terrific year. Great battles all season long, and a deserving champion once again. It was Burns in third, Shirley in fourth. Might put him on the box with a 3-4. Leitzel went 4-5, so yeah, Shirley's going to beat him. And then Hunt would have jumped, but Wilcox is not in the mix. So yeah, Seth Shirley going to end up third overall today. He'll be pretty satisfied with a podium. Rouse's Balzer there in P6. Ethan Gurst dropped back to 7th. Devin Davis, turnaround moto this time through. He was 19th in the first one. He's going to end up 8th in this one. Phil Fitzpatrick is what I almost called him. Neil Fitzpatrick ends up in 9th. 10th for Ryan Pinkerton. 11th goes to Casey Cochran. Thomas Wilcock ends up in P12. 13th for Lane Wofford. Jack Gatlin going to bring it through here in 14th by the looks of it. So 15th will be Dylan Love. 16th will be Cade Matherly. 17th should be Noah McLaughlin. Daniel Irvine in 18th. Tyler Shields 19th. Trevor Thompson 20th. But these three are battling all the way till the checkered flag waves. Irvine trying to hold on for 18th. Not quite. Atom.com finished up 4th in this one with Seth Shirley. His teammate Daniel Irvine's going to try to bring it to the flag. Whoa! Launches the wall and goes down. Not sure he realizes that may have cost him a position. But Trevin Thompson ends up in 19th now. It is actually Tyler Smith ahead of these guys in 18th, excuse me. Irvine ends up 20th. Shields, first man out in 21st. Last rider on the lead lap, James Wilcox, is going to end up 22nd. And one rider still coming behind him before we get cuts. All right, cuts are in. Let's take a look. Wofford leaps around Wilcox on cuts for 12th. Pinkerton gets Fitzpatrick for 9th. Rest stays the same. Cooper Hunt wins 250 Moto number 2. But your champion is Payson Johnson. And fittingly, he is all decked out in Jonathan Alexander's bike and gear. What a moment. What an ending. And congrats to Johnson on his second championship in Pro Motocross. All right, final moto of the night coming up. Back in studio, Kellen Brower, ready to bring the action here again for the final race of the evening. Good to see you guys all still hanging out in the chat room. It's been a crazy night of racing, a somber night to remember Jonathan Alexander, of course, but fun to have all of you guys here, and great that the sim community came together the way that they have in this moment. So appreciate all the support all night long, and we still got one more race to give you guys. 450 Moto 2. It's coming at you kind of late. We're going to be pushing almost midnight on the East Coast before this one's over. That consolation race really feels like it pushes everything back. Alrighty, ladies and gentlefish, time for one more race tonight. It is 450 Moto number 2. Tyler Lang gaining 5 points back on Leclerc in that first one. Now looking at a 13-point deficit with 3 motos still to run in this championship. Who knows what is going to happen, but if Lang can get another win and go 1-1 here tonight, the momentum shift is definitely going to be something to keep an eye on heading into Hangtown, especially if Leclerc cannot manage to get second with a Lang victory. So what is going to happen? Can Lang win another? Will Leclerc come through and win this one? Or will a different face show up and play a bit of spoiler like we had with Luke Magnetti finishing second in that last moto? Janice has been strong. Adam Holm, we always know he can come and play. This is going to be a good second moto here at Fox Raceway to watch. As we wait to get loaded in. And we'll drop the gate for the final time here tonight. There we are. Whoops, don't want the moto timer going yet. Race hasn't started. Don't want you guys to be confused. There is the fast Frenchman with the red plates. All right, here we go, folks. Final race of the night at Fox Raceway. It's 450 Moto number 2, and it's coming at you live here on Start Your Systems. Approaching the 3-hour mark of the broadcast, but we're going to go 3.5 because this has got to be a 30+2 on our hands. And it's going to be interesting to see who comes out with the whole shot, particularly. Can Leclerc fight forward? We'll watch him on the start and see what happens. All right, here we go. Let's wrap up an emotional, a trying, and a championship-giving night with another fun race here, 450 Moto 2 at Fox Raceway. Little flinch for Leclerc and a huge crash coming into the first corner. Riders down everywhere. Leclerc was one of them. He slid out going to the first corner. I don't know if he actually fell off the bike. He may have stayed up. I don't see him. I think he fell. And Caden Speck rips the whole shot, but immediately goes down. And to the front, the man that needs it the most, Tyler Lang, is out front here at Fox Raceway. He didn't get the whole shot, but he's leading before the first lap is over. And we'll see if this is his opportunity to get away from the field like he did last time. He's got Robert Wilson right behind him. Wilson gets into him and goes down. And Magnetti, who was second in the first moto, moves into second place behind him. Lang, Magnetti, Eagland, heavy hitters at the front while Leclerc sits back in 22nd in the early runnings. Magnetti's trying to go to the lead. Not quite there just yet for the number 30. Oh, Lang. Little kick out there coming down the hill. Up the inside, Magnetti almost got his nose up there. Another few little mistakes out of Lang, kind of compounding into not quite getting away from Magnetti at the moment. And everything's staying pretty close with Eagland kind of pushing onto this group a little bit as well. Ooh, inside and still went for the triple. Magnetti got it. I have not seen anybody triple from the inside line there all night, but Magnetti not messing around. He is not going to lead this first lap. It's going to go to Lang, but Magnetti is all over him trying to do something about it. Eagland's right there. Holm is there. Blakely. You got some serious heavy hitters out front with Seth Garrett, Janice, Bob Joe, John Heilman, Reed Young, Austin Bear, Hubbard, Jackson, Gress, Hall, Fowler, and then Leclerc. Leclerc is not going to be too thrilled about the riders inside of the top 5. They are going to be difficult to pass. Leclerc closing up a little bit on the group ahead of him, but also got to be mindful that if this group gets a little bit chaotic and one of these guys crashes right in front of him, Leclerc is going to have nowhere to go as he tries to jump over top of Caleb Hall. That was dicey, and he's going to complete the pass. No, Hall fighting back by swooping the corner off and keeping the Frenchman behind him. That is an underground RC rider, and he is not going to play too friendly with Leclerc here, it seems. Leclerc kind of crossing over, forced Hall to back out of the challenge. Had a rider down. That was Reed Young. Man, it is very close among this group here. Remember, these guys get together. Leclerc's right there. This is dicey stuff in the early runnings. Leclerc really cannot afford to crash here. Jumping back down the hill. Look at the outside line for Frank Jackson to get around Austin Bear. That's going to work. Meanwhile, Leclerc up the inside to try to get Bear as well. Bear getting swarmed on either side. Leclerc scrubs up the hill. He's going to try to close the corner off, and he does so. Bear just backs out of the challenge. That is just pure aggression out of Leclerc in the early stages of this race here. And that is going to be enough to move him into 13th now behind Frank Jackson. Gress, Hubbard, Heilman, Joe, Janis. Well, Seth Garrett got around Matthias Janis, Chase Blakely, Adam Holm, Eaglin Magnetti, and then Lang. Still your leader, and starting to stretch it out just a little bit here. So provisionally, it was 13 points. Leclerc over Lang entering this moto. As it stands right now, Lang is going to gain another huge chunk of points back against Leclerc. But it kind of depends on where Leclerc gets to in this moto, like it did in the first one. Leclerc came from outside of the points in the first moto, just like he did in this one. And we'll see what he gets back to. He finished third in the first one behind this man, Luke Magnetti. But I feel like this is a bit different. You have maybe the 5 best riders, barring Leclerc, inside the top 5 right now. If Leclerc is included in that group, then you'd have the 6 best riders, essentially. But all these guys have been strong all year, fast, won motos, been up front, but Magnetti clips a tough block and goes down. Holm tries to wheelie over him, and he saves it. What a move by Adam Holm, and then he gets clipped in the front end and goes down. Oh my gosh, I don't know how the heck Adam Holm didn't go down initially there. Now Leclerc is going to go up the inside of Holm into this corner and pass him, so it just goes to show it was basically a slide out and a fall off crash up to that position. So disregard that grouping of riders out front. Lang suddenly has a good margin opened up over Colby Eagland and Chase Blakely. Those are still 3 of the best in the world right there. Seth Garrett's pretty strong as well, as is Janis. Bob Joe, haven't seen him out front much. Magnetti, and then Heilman coming down the hill with Leclerc behind Heilman. So Leclerc still has to get through some pretty top-tier talent. He's got Holm behind him, who's going to want to nip at his heels a little bit and try to pass him as well. Heilman dealing with the pressure here from the defending champion, Alexis Leclerc. Leclerc searching for his 5th career RaceFactory Gaming Pro Motocross Championship. He's already got more than anybody else with 4, but an unprecedented 5th would put him in almost unreachable air. Not going to clinch it tonight. But he's got to do himself a little bit more favors than he's doing right now and try to keep Lang from closing it down that much more. Leclerc up the inside of Heilman, going to get a nose in there and make the pass. Just kind of forcing his way through once again. And that will move him up into 7th place, I believe. No, excuse me, 8th. He's still behind Magnetti. So 8th now for Leclerc with 22 minutes and 2 laps still to go. And if you remember from the first moto, it took him till about halfway to get to 8th. So already making more progress than he did last time through. Yeah, Blakely is caught up to Eagland here. Lang is pulling away at the front, but this battle for 2nd is starting to heat up just a little bit more now as Blakely can sense an opportunity closing up on the 24 of Eagland. Eagland was 8th in the first moto. Blakely was 15th. So neither really factor for a podium, I would say, just yet. 0.1 second lead for Lang opened up out front over teammate Colby Eagland. And really, if you're Lang, this is potentially the ideal scenario for if Leclerc can catch up to second place. You want your teammate there. He can ruffle Leclerc's feathers a little bit if he so chooses. We'll see whether that sort of team dynamic comes into play or if they're just going to race Leclerc straight up. But I can't imagine Eagland is at least going to want to relinquish second place at all. Doesn't matter to whom at this point. He's got Blakely all over him, and I'm sure he doesn't want Blakely to go by him as much as he doesn't want Leclerc to either. So he's going to fight tooth and nail for it. And that in and of itself is good news for Lang. Getting away from Blakely a little bit. Seth Garrett's actually pulled away from Janice a tiny bit. And Magnetti is now ahead of Bob Joe. So Leclerc has lost a position to Bob Joe here as he drifts back to P8 again. So he was up to 7th. No, he was up to 8th, so who went behind him? I don't remember who was in this group that now would be behind him. So maybe Bob Joe was there the whole time and I'm just an idiot. Either way, Leclerc is going to try to pass Bob Joe through the roller section out to the back of the track here. Oh, a huge crash. Seth Garrett and Bob Joe got together. What a weird crash as well. That's 2 more spots for Leclerc up to 6th. That was very random. Magnetti, Blakely, Janice, Eagland, Lang up to the leader here. Let's take a look to get a little lap time check through the field here. So 25.5 for Lang out front. He's almost stretched it out over 10 seconds. And he just burns down a 23.1. So Lang, it's got the afterburners on right now. It was a 26.4 last time through for Eagland. Let's see what he lays down. 26.1. So lost 3 seconds that last time through. 27.1 for Janice turns to a 25.4. So he's up the pace a little bit. 33.1. Blakely must have crashed last time by. A 25.6 for Magnetti. Leclerc goes 25.7. So he actually didn't gain ground on the group ahead this past time through. But he is up to 6th. And now that he can see those guys and has free air, I feel like he's going to start sniffing a little bit more of the opportunities ahead of him. Just being mesmerized here. Watching Leclerc go to work as he closes that gap down. It's certainly coming down ever so slightly, corner by corner. Chase Blakely up ahead of him in P5. And we might be looking at Leclerc getting into the top 5 before halfway here. Again, just a little step higher than he was last moto where he finished 3rd. Oh, almost into the back of Blakely. He was closing on him so quick. And even though he made a mistake, he didn't really lose time and does a 23.7. Alexis Leclerc into a different zip code here. Really up in the ante here, into the second half of this moto coming up. Oh, pushes Blakely off the track. Blakely continues on ahead as Leclerc tipped it over. Can't imagine that's going to make the 21 machine too happy with the Frenchman. All is fair in love and war, and Leclerc pushing the envelope, trying to make these passes. He's got to be wary of the fact that can't be making enemies out there when he's going to need some help. So he closes back up on Blakely once again, and this time we'll see whether or not Blakely plays a little nice with him or not. Flirting with those hay bales on the side of the track, Chase Blakely. Up this hill they go. Leclerc peeking inside, but as mentioned, I don't think Blakely's going to give him an inch here. Defends up the inside. Leclerc is going to charge around the outside and try to carry that momentum and scrub up the hill. Try to make that pass around the outside like he did earlier in the race, but it doesn't work this time. Now launching down the hill, but still just Blakely not being phased by the pressure from behind. And Leclerc maybe taking a little bit longer to get into the top 5 than he wanted to, I feel like. As they drop off the hill, Blakely flirting with the edge of the racetrack. Leclerc is going to see that. Try to get this section a little bit smoother, a little bit cleaner. Let's see what Blakely does. Blakely defensive inside Leclerc. He tried to follow him through. I think he thought Blakely was going to push it to the outside. Not what happened there, though. Blakely defended, and Leclerc was stuck behind him, and another lap in the books where Leclerc still hasn't figured out the magic to get around Chase Blakely as the battle continues. Up ahead of them, Magnetti working on Janice for third. And Eagland up ahead as Lang continues to stretch the gap out front. There is Magnetti. And then here comes Blakely and Leclerc again. This battle still continues. Leclerc, a little nudge on Blakely. Blakely fights back, and he gets taken to the ground. Leclerc fights his way through. And now Blakely, if he wasn't happy before, he's very unhappy there. Because he pretty much just got punted aside from the lag, I feel like, from Leclerc. I don't think that that was necessarily anything but it. So back to Leclerc, who now has Colby Eagland ahead of him. Eagland crashed and allowed that Janice Magnetti through into second and third, which means Lang's lead has really ballooned out now. Oh, Janice scrubs the corner but stays on 2 wheels, so Magnetti goes by into second place. Then Eagland, then Leclerc, and Holm went through on Blakely, but Blakely's trying to, he's got fire in his eyes right now. So can Janice now close back up to Magnetti? Try to get back around the number 30 machine? Or will he settle in and just follow his pace now a little bit? Maybe these two can try to freight train away from the battle that's about to ensue behind them between Eagland and Leclerc. It'll most certainly be quite a titanic one and could have some serious championship implications. Don't know how close Blakely and Magnetti really are as teammates. Have to imagine they hang out. They're in the same Discord, whatever. So if Blakely's upset at Leclerc for real, Leclerc has no friends ahead of him because Magnetti's not going to give him an inch as Blakely's teammate. And there's 3 other underground RC Cowies ahead of him, including race leader Tyler Lang, who he would love to gain points on, but it's looking more and more bleak. There's Leclerc. Blakely just got back around home. Leclerc is slowly inching up here to Eagland. All the while, Janice is still right on Magnetti, and the pace is very high. 24-7 out of laying out front. He's stretched out to 22nd lead now. 20 minutes into the moto. It seems like he's honestly been gaining a second per minute. And Janice is still just all over Magnetti. And suddenly Leclerc is there on Janice. Excuse me, Eagland. So Eagland here in P4 is going to feel the pressure from behind as Leclerc closes up, and he's going to get this roller section a little bit cleaner. Eagland was kind of swapping through it on entry. Up the hill we go. Leclerc inside, and you bet Colby Eagland is not going to give him that line right there. He is going to shut the door in a hurry. So Leclerc charging down the hill behind him. Just has to settle into his line. Can't do much about it. It is rather one-lined. If you can defend these inside lines well, it's pretty one-lined. And Leclerc is going to have to force a pass like he has pretty much on everybody else so far. Oh, man, this battle's getting good. This battle's getting good. Look at Janice up the inside. Oh, not going to be enough on Magnetti as Leclerc shows an inside wheel on Eagland. Big championship implications right here. Leclerc, 13-point advantage, but he's currently losing 9 points. By sitting in 5th place, he has got to gain some of these points back. Can you imagine a 4-point difference going into the finale? Pretty much just comes down to Lang versus Leclerc and who beats who in that finale. Oh, Leclerc charging to the outside, trying to swoop this corner. Oh, he thought about it. He really did. Ended up backing out of the challenge. Back to Magnetti versus Janice ahead. And the battle for second still is a good one. And it's crazy, the pace and the consistency these guys are running at. They are still losing about a second every minute to Tyler Lang out front. Maybe because they're battling with each other, I get it. But just goes to show that Lang's pace here today is almost unbeatable. I'd say Leclerc might be the only guy pace-wise that could be close. Leclerc scrubs up alongside Eagland. He's going to switch to the outside, and it turns into the inside here. Does he force the issue now? No. Eagland still has him covered. This roller section's been critical. Leclerc has been very good here. Eagland's made a couple mistakes. Eagland gets it very good on entry this time. And nothing Leclerc can do about that. Eagland is pushing very well. I can't imagine these guys are not catching Janice and Magnetti ahead of them. They're going so fast. 25-4, 26-8, 26-4, and 26-5. I mean, Eagland, I guess, went slower, but Leclerc is pushing into Eagland now, and then they're going to be pushing up to each other. Oh, Janice. Oh, I thought he got around Magnetti. I saw a glimpse of green. But it turns out that it was perhaps just the green jersey of Magnetti. They're fooling me. And still Leclerc has not got around Eagland. The pressure is immense. Eagland knows what's at stake, I feel like, for his teammate. Because it seems like he's upped the ante to do it. And Leclerc is going to triple up behind him. Not enough just yet. Into the wall jump. Leclerc tries the downside to get a drive. He kind of kicks off the side of the track and loses some time. Under 6 minutes and 2 laps to go. And if these guys continue to be as flawless as they are, Leclerc is looking at losing far too many points than he really could afford to lose going into this final round. Lang is weaving through the lap traffic. We haven't even looked back to see anything outside of this group because the action has been incredible at the front pretty much this entire race. The tension is palpable. What is going to happen? Can Leclerc get around Eaglin and run down that battle between Janice and Magnetti? They are certainly catching that group now. So maybe Leclerc, knowing that those guys are closing, or they're closing on the group ahead of them. Oh, Magnetti, a mistake. And it's going to cost him how much? It cost him the spot on Eaglin. He gets going still ahead of Leclerc. And now Janice is second place. Janice second. Oh, Magnetti almost looped out. Oh my goodness, what a save. And Leclerc funnels in behind him. He's going to try to go up the inside. Forces the issue to make the pass and gets it done. Now can Magnetti respond? Suddenly Leclerc shoots into fourth place. Magnetti was the first to break of this group. So that promotes Eaglin into third, and there are 3 Underground RC teammates inside of the top 3. And 2 of them, I feel like, want to ride defensively for their teammate. Leclerc shoots around Eaglin. Leclerc into third. Now does Eaglin fight back immediately? Wow, after all of that, it doesn't seem like those guys really want to try to force the issue back on Leclerc like I expected. And instead, Magnetti is closed right up on Eaglin to try to get around him. I mean, they're still there. If anything, they are still there. So a small bobble out of Leclerc is all it takes. They're both going to go right back by him. But Leclerc now sees Janice ahead of him. And that is his target. He wants to get into that second place position, limit the damage. If he's able to do so, he leaves it at a 10-point advantage to Lang going into the finale. Given that Lang wins the race, of course. But that seems like it's probably a foregone conclusion at this point. Rider down was Robert Wilson. Everybody having to take some evasive action there. And Leclerc looked like he was probably getting held up a little bit by that group, as immediately stretched it out on Eaglin behind him, Magnetti as well. But he's still got to pass Janice. Yet another Tyler Lang teammate. Janice looking for one of his best results of the season with a second place finish potentially. Oh, getting a little sideways. Leclerc got a kick out too. Both recovered very nicely. They kind of had their rear ends kick out to the side on pretty much the exact same bump. And we're down to just 2 minutes left on the clock, people. So Leclerc, it has not come quite as easy, I feel like, to get to this position as it did in the first moto. These guys have certainly made him work for it. And he's still got one more rider that he'd like to pass in the form of Matthias Janice. Brandon Larson on the 245 moves aside. Lapped rider down on the inside there. Someone using Jonathan Alexander's bike. I'm not going to speculate who that is, but it has to be a Phil's KTM rider, I'd imagine. And Leclerc fights his way through. Get around some of these lapped riders. Larson going to be next that he'll get by. Can't count out Eaglin either. Eaglin is still right there behind Leclerc. Look at that. Eaglin has definitely kind of closed this gap back down. Magnetti is still right there as well. Man, Leclerc is just in a sandwich here. And again, I apologize to anybody else looking to watch a different rider in this race, but the championship implications here for Leclerc are massive, and that's a mistake. A mistake for England. I'm sorry, for Janice. And Leclerc shoots into second place. Now he has got to put the afterburners on immediately and get away. He's got a good flow going right now. And it seems like that is the nail in the coffin potentially for second place in this race. Although lap traffic, I guess you never know. Things could get a little wild with lappers in play. Reed Young not exactly moving out of the way on the 37. Funnels into the main line, stays in it down this back straightaway. And Leclerc is begging him to get away out of the way. Now he finally tucks to the inside here, it looks like. Leclerc goes outside the long way through, but the fast way through. And now we are looking at 10 points separating Tyler Lang and Alexis Leclerc heading into the finale. Time has expired. 2-lap board will be out for Lang next time by. And hey, you know what? Lang has only got a 15-second lead. It's not exactly as big as I thought. Lang has a fall-off crash here, a tip over there. Suddenly we have got a race for the win on our hands. Janice still right there behind Leclerc. Magnetti right behind Reed Young, and then Janice up the road. England's drifted back to 5th. Let's go through the field real quick because we haven't talked about any of these guys. Adam Holm is 6th. John Heilman is 7th. Chase Blakely 8th. Seth Garrett in P9. Bob Joe 10th. 11th for Kyle Carpenter. 12th for Daniel Mills. 13th Jacob Hubbard. 14th for Austin Bear. 15th for Dylan Smith. 16th for Frank Jackson. 17th for Braden Castellaneta. 18th is Cole Gress. 19th for Chase Donovan. And 20th for Brody Barton. But just don't want to miss out on anything that happens here at the front. So 2-lap board is out. Leclerc finally in clean air for the first time in 20 minutes. He slowly but surely caught this group and slowly but surely worked through this group. And now has kind of set sail ahead of them just a little bit. Janice is trying to keep him close, just the same way we saw England for a few laps there, but it seems inevitable that Leclerc's pace is just too much. But the Frenchman is not without mistake. Any little bobble can reach up and bite him, and suddenly he goes from a 2nd place finish to a 5th place finish. It's still that close. So he has got to watch himself as much as he has got to push the pace, it seems like. But Lang here with a lap and a half to go, 14-second lead. Man, just like on Monday, winning the GP at Portugal when he needed it to close the gap down to Leclerc in the GP championship. And now needed a huge 1-1 performance here at Fox Raceway. And he looks like he is going to get it. Oh, it's not over yet, though. It is not over yet. Lang has got to be flawless here these last few laps of the race. Magnetti, England, and so Janice has dropped behind these guys. So if Leclerc crashes, he'll probably only lose a spot to Magnetti and England, who are still battling each other. Can't imagine that Leclerc has another crash in him. But here it is, Lang out front. He's going to get the white flag this time by. What an emotional night for so many people. And the unfortunate passing of a friend of many people in this community, Jonathan Alexander, hit everybody hard today. We found out the news today of his passing 2 weeks ago and have dedicated tonight's racing action to him. And perhaps no person felt like he was closer to Jonathan Alexander, really truly lost a friend, than did Tyler Lang. And this was going to be a tough night regardless for Lang to have to deal with the pressure of the championship and trying to close the gap down on Leclerc. You double it down with the tragedy of losing a friend and the resiliency of Tyler Lang to pull through when he needed it the most. Is pretty incredible scenes here. And Leclerc, give him credit as well. 2 bad starts, 2 times in a row outside of the top 20. And back-to-back times he worked his way up to a podium spot. He only could get to 3rd in the first one. He nearly had 2nd, but a late crash thwarted that attempt. He did get to 2nd in this one, but it's still not going to be enough. On the end of the day, he's going to lose 8 points to Lang. Entered 18 up, leaves 10 up. So if he can just do this exact same thing next week, pretty much just needs to go 2-3, 3-2, any of the sort, he's your champ. But a 3-3 next week with a Lang 1-1, we got a tie on our hands, and it's going to be interesting to see where that tiebreaker lies. I think Leclerc may have it, but Lang winning out these final motos of the year could turn the tides in his favor. And it's going to be a whole lot of fun. We really do hope you join us next Wednesday night for the finale from Hangtown. Same time, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, to see who wins the 2021 450 Class Championship. Tyler Lang, though, what a night. What a story. What a ride. What a performance. Incredible scenes. Tyler Lang fights through the tears, fights through the field, and Tyler Lang wins the Fox Raceway 2 National and MX Simulator. He goes 1-1, and he has now closed the deficit to Leclerc in this championship down to just 10 with 1 round to go in a 12-round championship. Incredible scenes here as Leclerc crosses in 2nd. It's going to be 3rd for Colby Eagland. Matthias Janis in 4th. Got riders behind him battling. That is... wow, okay. Aaron Rockefeller and Reed Young fighting to the death and nearly taking Matthias Janis to the ground, but he will still end up in 4th. Adam Holm will bring it down and finish up in 5th in this one. So that means... wow, Magnetti fell back to 6th. That's unfortunate for the man who was 2nd in the first moto. Janis going 5-4. Magnetti 2-5 will still probably net him 2nd overall. Or 3rd overall, excuse me. Leclerc will be 2nd. Lang 1-1, Leclerc 3-2, and Magnetti 2-5 or 2-6 should still get him 2nd over or 3rd overall. Blakely ends up 7th. John Heilman, strong effort for him. Brings it down here in 8th. P9 for Kyle Carpenter. And Hubbard will round out the top 10. Pushing midnight on the East Coast. Thanks so much for all of you that stuck with us throughout an emotional evening, a thrilling evening. And we're just wrapping it up now here. Hubbard ends up in 10th as mentioned. Mills will get 11th. To couple his 4th place in the first moto, Bob Joe ends up 12th. 13th for Seth Garrett. Frank Jackson coming to the line will end up in 14th. '15th for Austin Bear. 16th should be Cole Gress. 17th for Braden Castellaneta. 18th going to be Dylan Smith. And 19th will be Chase Donovan. Brody Barton going to score points in this moto. I think this is the first time he's ever scored points, so congratulations, Brody Barton. And Caleb Hall, the last rider on the lead lap, going to give us cuts. He's the last guy to finish. So let's take a look. All right, cuts are in. Let's take a look. Looks like Castellaneta got around Gress for 16th. Bear got around Jackson for 14th. And the rest stays the same. Tyler Lang wins tonight. But the story tonight is all about this man, Jonathan Alexander. May he rest in peace, as he sadly lost his life 11 days ago. whole night has been dedicated to him. Thank you so much all who donated tonight, as Damien also drops in a $4.99 donation here at the end. Thank you, Damien Lawyer, for that. And yeah, just a huge shout out. Our thoughts and prayers with the Alexander family at this time. And we're all thinking of you here in the MX Simulator community. And this race is nothing compared to the grand scheme of life, which unfortunately a son has been lost, a friend has been lost, a family member has been lost, and this night is dedicated to you, Mr. Jonathan Alexander. Well, Tyler Lang wins tonight. Payson Johnson wins tonight. Payson Johnson wins the championship tonight. And a somber night of racing here at Fox Raceway 2 has come to an end. I want to thank every single one of you that tuned in tonight. The MX Simulator came up huge in very trying times for the community. So thank you guys so much for all tuning in. A quick shout out to atom.com and rjerky for coming on board the broadcast this year, and RaceFactoryGaming.com for hosting the races here tonight. And a final send off to Jonathan Alexander. May he rest in peace, and we'll see you guys next week for Argentina and Hangtown. Bye-bye for now.
We will make it at no point to look back. We're going to attack with death. Beat attack. We will make it at no point to look back. We're going to attack.